supporting QAnon anymore.
Hell.
Oh my
Welcome back
god, that's what you said.
Welcome back to the. No, that didn't change. Okay, anyways, welcome back to the new and improved. That's the first. It's not a political show. Welcome back to the new and improved Planet Film
PFN
Live.
Live.
PFN Live. Oh my gosh. All right. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and joining us once again, we have Brandon Freeman back. Hello, Brandon.
How's it going?
It's going well. We're excited to hear your hot takes. Maybe hotter than the highest pepper on the Scoville scale, which would be, what is that,
Pretty
Ghost?
hot.
Chili?
No, it's
I don't know which one that
Carolina
is.
Reaper.
Oh, is it? Okay. Hotter than the
Yeah.
Carolina Reaper pepper. Yeah. But so are we gonna banter? Should we banter in the beginning or no?
Well,
you said
you guys got some updates? Any updates in your lives?
My only update is I was sick over the weekend, and I'm kind of over it. Brandon, I've been trying to pop my ear for the whole day. Barely did any work today because I literally was just sitting here. I was chewing my gum. I was doing the nose thing.
You work from home today?
I did. Yep. And I found this. Yeah, I found this doctor on, like some people on YouTube are like doctors and they're, they do any type of stuff. This guy was like a ear doctor, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like an ASMR kind of type thing. So he was talking very calmly and he was like, "Oh, do like this and then do this and stuff like that."
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it loosened, but I just could not. It like refused
You
to
couldn't
just
get
like
it all the way.
pop. No, I could not do it.
The
So
nose thing usually works for me.
yeah, like basically I'm just kind of waiting for it to go away because it just feels like I told this to Danielle, I told this to Sean, like it feels like you took something sharp in my ear and you just like pop, done, like I'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally feels like it's just like a bubble in my ear. So that sucks. What else? I saw The Green Knight with Sean on Sunday. Yeah, good film. I also watched Lethal Weapon 2. Very funny movie if you've never watched it. Joe Pesci, fucking hilarious. He got the little high voice and he's running around with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all. I think that's it for me. Me and Brandon are almost done with Gears too. But
Pressing.
yep, I think that's it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had I had said on the podcast last time, I think, that I had gone to the dentist and I got a bunch of work that I have to get done tomorrow.
Right, you did, yeah.
Tomorrow is the first day of that, so I might be dead tomorrow.
Oh.
We'll find out. But I've been hitting up all the doctors along the way. So I went to the eye doctor yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago, something like that. It was yesterday. And they've told me I have like 20/20 vision my whole life.
Wow.
And then I go to the doctor yesterday, and they said blind, I can't see anything. So I have to get glasses. So I'm waiting on those.
Wow. So is this one of those things where like you haven't been to any doctor in a long time and you're going to all of them? Like, do you get your yearly physical or no?
Yeah, normally, yeah,
Okay.
the yearly physical I always get, but I hadn't since COVID. And then I was like, I was kind of like, so I rescheduled that a couple months ago, and then I was like, well, I should probably recheck in on everything. So I'm kind of doing that. But I hadn't been to the eye doctor since like high school.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago.
I remember when I first got glasses and I put them on, I was like, this is how you're supposed to see. Like I didn't even know. I was like, everything's so high def.
I had like a genuine
without glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, I had like a genuinely like terrifying moment where I was like, because my whole life they'd be like, all right, start with the bottom line if you can read it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, no problem, like LQ whatever. They told me to read the bottom line at the eye doctor, and I was like, what bottom line? I was like, I couldn't read. I couldn't even see it. It just looked like a freaking blur, and I was like, oh my god, like I literally was like, I wasn't like shaking, like I don't want to be like crazy dramatic, but I was like, holy fuck, I can't fucking read that.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I think I I think I did swear in the thing with the assistant like the first person, not the actual doctor. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
my god, I can't read that. Like I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's new with me since the last show. I was at, like we talked about in the last show, I was on like a crazy movie kick, which I still am on. I've just been working a lot recently, but all the time that I was off, I watched in a 48-hour period. I rewatched all of the Newsroom, which is one of my favorite shows of all time on HBO. It's the Aaron Sorkin show, with Jeff Daniels and Emily Mortimer and a couple other people, like Olivia Munn and David Harbour and stuff like that. Like I freaking love that show so much. So I rewatched that whole show and I was like, oh my god, it's just so good. And then I just kind of laid off movies for a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's been happening with me. Anything new with Wedge Antilles over there?
No, not much. It's funny that you like mentioned all that stuff because like I feel like I've been doing like the same thing, and then I ran into well, I had hung out with my brother just this past weekend, and our buddy Travis had brought up that he remembered my story about root canal, so he is now on like the non-sugar pop drinks for the reason that he does not want to have to go to the dentist more often, and he is trying to avoid being me, is what he said. That's the words. But
Like
wait, this was
I think
Travis
like
or your brother?
Travis said this to my
Okay.
brother.
I think
yeah,
like
that kid drinks a lot of pop.
Yeah.
like I've never had to get anything like that at the dentist. Like I've only ever had to get like a cavity filling or whatever.
Mhm.
Never like a root
Only
canal
once?
or
Only
Just-
one
yeah,
cavity
just-
fill?
no, I've had like me.
Yeah, you.
Oh no, I probably had like 2 or 3 maybe.
Oh,
When I
oh,
was his
2 or
age, it was
3.
probably the
Whoa,
same
whoa.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was your age was probably the first I had my first root canal.
Mhm.
But like
Your
yeah,
first? How many have you had?
2. I just had.
Oh my
second.
lord.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
Wyland.
I
some
had a lot of
people-
issues with my dental coverage with like my
Oh,
work and everything. So like I didn't know and I didn't transfer. I like went
Right.
back to like cleaning, but then like I chipped a tooth and then it just got progressively worse. But whatever. And then with eyes, I haven't been to the eye doctor since probably high school, like you said, Sean. But that's obviously longer for me. But
yeah.
that is the only thing that works on my body properly. I have never
Nice.
had. The one time I had an issue was with like some kind of disease I had when I looked into the board. I was like, "No, you're. I'm way too far away from this. You're definitely putting me further away because I'm older." But no, yeah, my eyes are the only thing that works properly on my
Yeah.
health wise. But yeah,
I probably haven't been to the eye doctor since I got these glasses, which I think was 2019 I think it was like March or something.
Mhm.
yeah, just been lucky, staying healthy, not getting sick like TJ.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. This sucks.
Really?
Fucking
It's ridiculous.
dodge COVID and I get a head cold.
Mhm.
That COVID's
Stupid.
coming back though, so
You gotta get old. You gotta get a what's it called? Just drill a hole in the side of your head. You know, like
Yeah.
they used to do.
Okay, can we
Saw
talk
3
about
style.
real quick? Can we talk about real quick? This is not political. or anything. We're not a political show, and again,
Oh.
vaccines should be political. But this is a video like a few weeks ago. Did you guys see? They're interviewing that guy in the hospital, and he was like recovering from COVID or whatever, and he like had COVID, and then he got pneumonia or something, but he was recovering, so he was about to leave. I think it was his last day, and they're interviewing him, and they were like, "Well, like looking back, like if you would have gotten you would have gotten the vaccine, like would you have gotten it like to avoid all this?" He was like, "No, I do it all over again." It's like, what? You'd not get sick, you wouldn't get COVID, which means you wouldn't get pneumonia, you wouldn't be in the hospital, you wouldn't have the medical bills. And he was like, "No, I go through the whole thing again." It's like, okay, if there's people like that out there, like I don't know how you can convince somebody to get a vaccine. If there's people that are so like they go through hell, like there's been people saying like I don't know, there's some doctor somewhere that she'll have patients that'll be like, "Give me the vaccine," and they'll say it's too late, and it's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like
I
that's
did see
like,
that. I
crazy.
did see that headline. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I didn't read
like
that, but-
those people, like I mean, those people, they're at their end, but like these people who have, kind of get another chance, I guess, if per se, for lack of a better term. And they're like, you want the vaccine? No. No, I'll take your disease. I'm fine. It's like, okay.
That's how I feel about smokers with my asthma issue. Like, I just like smoking away, and I'm just like, why? Like, let's trade lungs, please. Can I have your lungs and then pre-smoking?
This is gonna sound really terrible, but like, at least smoking is like once you do it, like it's addictive, like nicotine and everything. Well, this is like fucking like you take a shot and you just don't, maybe you're 90% chance of not getting sick with this disease that kills people. Like
yeah, it's scary again though. So like I'm definitely gonna start wearing my mask again inside.
Yeah, I started doing that already.
Prevent spreading. Yeah, I don't want this to last any longer. I'm sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're getting the freaking Delta variant going, like surging throughout the whole freaking country again. So, you look at a month and a half ago. Oh, the Delta variant from. I'm not even gonna say its country of origin because I can't remember where it was. So I'm not even gonna go there. But like Delta variant from this nation. Now it went from that nation to now there's a incident reported on in UK, and it's like, oh well, that's all the way over there, and then one in the UK, and now it's all over North America. Over in Europe, it's like, forget about it. The Delta variant might as well just be the original freaking virus. Australia's back into a new lockdown. New York, we've returned to our governor and our New York government have returned to either weekly or more often than weekly COVID briefings and stuff like we used to do. It's probably not long before those are going to be daily again, because they have, like, these people, they're just like we said, I think we're at 50% of Americans, like roughly 50% of Americans are fully vaccinated. And you look at the scientists have said last year, over a year ago, when it comes time for the vaccine, you gotta be at like 70, 75%, 80%. Like, that's the kind of stuff where it becomes, optimal. 50%, it's just not cutting it. And it's like, like, that's the thing. Like, we're not getting political, obviously, but it's just the people that don't see it as a society is like, we're so individualistic. It's to such a detriment with some of the recent stuff that's been happening in the world, and that's pretty unfortunate.
Right. But and like Michelle said, like, New York City, you have to show vaccination now, proof of it, to like get anywhere, basically.
For
like restaurants, like theaters,
bowling areas, entertainment.
I don't know movie theaters, but like shows, like, it is
movie theaters. Yep.
Wow.
There was a big thing
I
on
pray
the John Campea show today.
I pray that not you specifically, because you're not in New York City, but I pray for those New York City employees that have to tell these people that they need to be vaccinated to get in, because that's not going to be easy.
No.
So if it comes here, Sean, good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my Lord.
Who knows? I may start the school year back on computers, and that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh,
Brad, not a fan. I thought you were gonna say you're gonna start the school year back at AMC.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going for a second. I was like, oh, coming back.
Yeah, coming on back. I wonder if I would be able to hire you. I don't know. Anyways, let's all right, let's go on to the news. Now, like we said, last show, it was the 50th episode, so that warranted, but it went very long, nearly 4 hours. So we're gonna try and keep it down a little bit today, but that being said, we do have quite a bit of news, so we're going to kind of rattle them off to get into the main topic, which, for those who don't know, we are ranking giving our official personal rankings of the Star Wars franchise. That is all 11 live-action films, so that is sure to be very interesting. So the first thing that we want to talk about is for the reported Batgirl series for HBO Max. People were wondering, they cast I don't have her name in front of me. I will look it up right now. But they cast a young woman of color in the role, which, is awesome. I believe she was in
In the
my
Heights.
God. Yes, thank you. I was like, that movie just
Leslie
came out.
Grace.
Leslie Grace, thank you. Yeah, I was like, that movie just came out. How do I not remember the name of it? Yeah, she's from In the Heights. So people were speculating just because she's a woman of color. They were like, okay, so if it's set in either universe, it's probably going to be the Jeffrey Wright Jim Gordon that is her father. But reportedly, J.K. Simmons is in talks to renew his contract as, I almost said J. Jonah Jameson as Commissioner Gordon,
Commissioner Gordon.
to appear in the show. So it looks like this is again going to be set within the DCEU, or what the artist formerly known as the DCEU. So what are your guys' quick thoughts on this? That we're getting more J.K. Simmons as Jim Gordon, which I think his Jim Gordon was one of the best aspects of either version of Suicide Squad, of Justice League. So what are your guys' thoughts on him coming back and this series as a whole?
It's a movie, right?
I think it's supposed to be a series.
Oh.
Maybe. Let me see. I might have that wrong.
Yeah, we talked about it.
It is movie. I'm sorry. It is
Yeah,
an HBO Max movie. Yeah.
We talked about it last week. I'm excited for that. Again, I don't know if they're gonna try to connect. Well, I mean, I guess if maybe J.K. Simmons coming back, they try to connect it in some way, shape, or form. But pretty much, I think we all agree the Snyderverse is pretty much dead at this point. But yeah, I think it's great, and I'm excited to see what they do. I believe who's directing this? What did they? Oh, the people that directed Bad Boys for Life, and they directed a little bit of Ms. Marvel, I believe.
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah. Are directing this Adil El Arbi, I think that is, and Bilal Falah. I want to say. I apologize if I butchered those names.
God bless you for pronouncing that.
So, and I personally, Bad Boys for Life, my favorite Bad Boys. I think far better than the first two. But yeah, I'm just excited for it. I'm excited to see what they come up with and kind of how she embodies the role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had talked. Yeah, we talked last episode or whatever about the more representation of the people of color into roles, and we talked about like how you don't really know.
Yeah, we talked about Michael B. Jordan last week. Yep.
Yeah, if like you don't really know if there's an actual character like that in some kind of universe or like some kind of comics. It was with how dominant everything is. So it's interesting to see that they are choosing to go with that more of that route. And man, J.K. Simmons is just getting all the feel good and the fanfare going on because he's returning as you said, mistakenly, but as J. Jonah Jameson, and then now as Commissioner Gordon again. So it's cool to see, and like he's one of the great like actors that can really like draw attention to the movie. But I mean, Batgirl in itself, I love the Batman movies, like all of them, and so I just think that it's just like another version of that. So it's definitely intriguing to go see.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know what do you guys think about both J.K. Simmons returning to DC as Jim Gordon, so it's gonna be in both Marvel and DC at the same time. Not the first, definitely not the last person to do that, but cool nonetheless. Let us know what you guys think. Next up, we have the reported Die Hard sequel has died hard over at Disney.
Oh damn.
So this is the reported it was gonna be Die Hard 6. I think it's 6. Is it 6 or 7? Jeez, that
6, I think.
Franchise needed to die a long time ago. So this was a reported 6th Die Hard movie that was going to be kind of seems like what they're doing with the Indiana Jones 5, where it's going to be set some with modern day John McClane and then some as a prequel, which I was never like very interested in. I thought it was cool that like he was going to like the Nakatomi Plaza like memorial like thing. It was like the 30th anniversary or something. Like that was a cool aspect of the story with the modern day one, but I was like, nobody needs to see this. And apparently Disney agreed because this has been the latest thing to get the proverbial axe from the Fox deal. So were you guys looking forward to this? Where do you guys fall on the Die Hard franchise? I know I've seen the first one. Obviously, I love the first one, and I like the third one a lot. But all the other ones, I could really take or leave. What do you guys think, Brandon? Or
Brandon.
Either one.
Oh.
I mean, I can go first. First of all, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'll die on that hill. But
Agreed.
anyways, I like the first one. I thought it was just like classic. I didn't grow up in the '80s. I'm not that old, but like, I think that like it's just one of those classic movies that I watched as a kid because we have to. But when I started really going to the movie theaters, like weekly with my next door neighbor at the time, we would always go every week to a show, and one of the ones that I remember vividly is Live Free or Die Hard, and which is the 4th installment. And I really like that whole story. I like the action. So I mean, I have not seen the other ones. I just saw those two. So I like both of them. I didn't know that was really what they were going for with this one, but I mean, it's just a classic movie. I think it's just you're seeing all these 80 movies redone now, and I don't know if it's like because of what I'm going through is like I watched it as a kid and now as an adult I get to watch them and whatever, but just interesting that they just keep reviving these franchises.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really surprised. It's kind of dead. The most recent one they did. What was that? Is that a Good Day to Die Hard? Or is that the most recent one?
So, yeah.
2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm thinking of I was like, wasn't there another one that came out? But I'm thinking of he did what Death Wish.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the standee for that. As far as Die Hard, like I've only seen the first one, and I saw it this past Christmas, I believe. Not Christmas Day, but in December. And I thought it was fantastic action movie. Alan Rickman was amazing in it. I've had interest in watching the other ones just to kind of like that's probably something like I'll do with Lethal Weapon. Like I'll watch the next 3 and 4, even though I know they're not as nearly as good as the first two. So I will eventually get through the rest of the Die Hards probably.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you say, Sean? The third one is like
the
as
third
well?
one's good too. That's the one with like Jeremy Irons and Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of glad this is something that they will. I think they'll leave alone for like 10, 15 years or something, and then bring it back. Probably.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of just juiced the franchise in my opinion at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe
Bruce
they come
Willis
up with
juiced himself.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's just kind of in movies at this point just for the paycheck. I mean,
I just think that's such like
much.
Just to say like a quick like commentary on it.
Yeah.
I just think that's so like sad. Like a performer of that level who is that good, just like for whatever the reason is, and he could have something private, that's affecting it that nobody knows about, and that's totally fine. But just going off of what everybody knows and what I know, seemingly just to kind of give up on the industry. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, I don't have a better way of putting it, but just kind of the, for now over a decade now, we've heard the rumors of, $1 million a day. He's on set for 1 day, he gets paid $1 million. He's on set for 2 days, gets $2 million. That's it. Added around him. It's that kind of thing. You hear the same thing with Death Wish. I mean, he's the star of Death Wish, and there was reports that he was on set for 7 days. Like, there's a reason why glass, why he has the hood on for so much of glass. Probably not him, for being honest. I mean, think about it. I mean, really, it's the same stuff they do with Mando, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, it's just sad. That's all I got to say about that.
So I just counted on his IMDb real quick how many he is. This is both released, completed, or post-production, or filming, or pre-production, with the dates 2021 or 2022, and he has 12 projects in those 2 years.
Like
now I don't know if they're and this actually brings up because I remember we talked about this when we saw the Fanatic at Fan Expo. We were like, why is John Travolta doing this? Why is he doing these movies? And I think with John Travolta, like I don't know if you said this or we read this. John Travolta just likes to be in movies. Like he just likes acting and doing
Yeah,
stuff.
he's like Nick Cage.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
Sure, they have
yeah.
money problems, but they'll just work to work.
Yeah, right. Whereas Bruce Willis, it seems like he's just like,
he's
just here
got
for
no interest
the
in
money. Yeah.
Michelle in chat says Fanatic, great film. Well,
oh. Yeah, Brandon, if you ever get a chance, watch Fanatic.
Listen to a little Biscuit. Listen to a little Limp Biscuit. Yeah.
Limp Biscuit. Yeah. Yep.
Oh
yeah, they're
God,
on tour again. One of my buddies is going to see him.
Oh my Lord.
Fred Durst, what a great director. All right, anyways, next up, we have Predator 5 has been in the news. It's reportedly going to be either under the working title or the actual title of the film will be Skull. And it is set to be a more intimate tale of a woman's struggle to fight in an unknown landscape against an unknown enemy. Whoa. Sounds like... it does sound like they're going a little bit back to basics, just kind of like a mano-a-mano, like Predator hunt/fight. So, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you guys have any interest in this film or anything like that? Kind of stripping the franchise back a little bit. We already got the kind of semi-reboot with Shane Black's Predator in 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think there's even an audience for this at this point, or do you think they've washed it out?
Oh, there's always an audience for Predator or Alien. I'll tell you right now, always.
Yeah.
It's one of those
I have seen. Fun fact: I've seen all the Predators, all the Aliens, and both AVPs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But have you read
Prometheus?
Batman
I've seen
versus the Predator?
No, I've not. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh my Lord.
It's a great comic.
I've definitely been more interested in. Obviously, this is completely different, but like speaking of both Alien and Predator, because I feel like they always like go together, even though franchises. Alien's always been a little bit more interesting to me and more scary.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And
as you said, Shane Black's Predator, not good movie in my opinion. Was not a fan when it came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a fan of the original.
Wasted.
Like when I saw it, I was kind of like, it's okay. Like I don't know. Like it's not. It's like again, it's not like an Alien or an Alien 2, something like that.
Yeah.
But like if this comes out, like I will watch it. I know. So I do think there's like an audience and everything, but I'm not really excited. I know this has been like, because I heard this story, I think a little bit like late last week, that it's like almost done filming, and it was like nobody knew about it until like last week, which I think is crazy. But yeah,
Brent?
Yeah, just continuing on. It's action movie from the 80s. That's continuing on. If we can continue on with this subject, but yeah, I mean, my dad was a big like Alien dude who like, and I made sure I got the poster for Covenant, and like with his setup in his basement that he has like a movie theater like style basement. Like I have all like the old movie and the new versions set up on one side, which was like Jurassic World 1, Alien, Star Wars, like all the movies that he grew up watching, and then kind of going on. But like Predator, I like TJ said, it just didn't really interest me. Alien was super interesting, and I really like Covenant, even though it doesn't really get that good of recognition. I thought Michael Fassbender, I just really like him as an actor personally, but like but I found myself rooting for the Predators because they were less scary than the Aliens in AVP. Because I was like, Aliens are definitely like the more scary of the two. I think the Predators are just like weird. So I mean, I thought it was cooler because like they can turn invisible and stuff and everything, and then but yeah, it's not for me. I'll watch another Alien movie. I think I'm done with the Predator franchise though. I watched Predator 1 and 2 and that was it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we got a couple more pieces of news here, and then we got a bunch of course, a bunch of Marvel news that we will break down, and then we got a big news story, and then we'll on to the main topic. So next up, we have confirmation that after terrifying headline last week that Bob Odenkirk, Hollywood gem American Sweetheart.
Forgot about that.
Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, this was right after I think we did the show last week. Another massive story broke right after we did the show last week about the thing that we did the show about. So that's nice. And it's just the number one piece of news in Hollywood, but we'll get to that in a second. But after reports came out that Bob Odenkirk had sadly collapsed on set of Better Call Saul, in the New Mexico desert, or on the set in New Mexico. Reports then later, I think the next day, had come out that he had suffered a minor heart attack, but that he was recovering. Since then, he's taken a Twitter and said, thanks so much for your outpouring of support and everybody and everything like that. But I'm doing okay, and thank God for that. He was, he's in the best shape of his life type of thing, and it really helped him get through it and all that stuff. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, that's pretty, obviously it's fantastic that, he's okay and everything like that.
Yeah. I was scared because seeing him obviously in Nobody recently, he was great in that. And I think he's talked about before, he was seeing him next to he was training I think in the same gym that Keanu Reeves and Halle Berry were training in for John Wick and stuff like that. And to see him just kind of, and he's, how old is he? Mid-50s or something? He's not old. He's still pretty young.
6 or 55.
Yes, so he's
58.
relatively young, 58.
Oh, yeah.
So to see that, he kind of just collapsed, was very scary. And it was amazing to see everybody on Twitter. Literally everybody was like, "Oh my God, Bob, I hope he's okay," But yeah, I'm glad he's okay, and I can't wait to see him in the final season. But that's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if he doesn't win the Emmy now, I mean, what's are you joking?
Yeah, I really liked Breaking Bad, obviously, like most people that watch it. I had heard only from my friend the next morning, who's a huge Breaking Bad fan. I don't know if it's him or my brother that I think is the biggest Breaking Bad fan. And then I actually didn't know his update until we just talked about it right now. So I'm glad that he is. Yeah, I'm glad that he is okay. I just the last thing I heard from him was that he did collapse and that it was talked about. I knew that he didn't pass, but I just didn't know what his update was, if he had been released yet or whatever. So at least he is working his way back, I guess it seems like. So that's good. That's why I looked it up, because I was like, oh wait, I completely forgot that that even happened. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, awesome. Like we said, just great news that he's okay and that he's recovering well and everything like that. And we hope that he can get back to work and get back to his family and everything as soon as possible. So best of luck to Bob. All right, so we have a couple of Marvel tidbits here, which sorry, I forgot one. At the end of this season, current season, I believe is season 15 of season 13 of Doctor Who. It is official now that both showrunner Chris Chibnall and Doctor herself, Jodie Whittaker, will be moving on from the series. It seems in this new iteration of New Who since 2005, apart from Christopher Eccleston, it's pretty much 3 seasons and then you're done. Maybe 3 seasons and a couple of specials. Tennant did 3 seasons, and then he did the feature-length special. Capaldi did 3 seasons, and then he got 3 holiday specials. Matt Smith did 3 seasons, and then he got, I think he did 4 holiday specials.
He did a few holidays, if I recall.
Because he did 3 seasons as the Doctor, and then he ended on a 5-part series of specials, which was Name of the Doctor, Time of the Doctor, Day of the Doctor, which was the 50th anniversary theatrical thing special, and then he ended with I think it ended with Time of the Doctor, sorry, and that's what introduced John Hurt and stuff. So Matt Smith did 3 seasons and then some. But now we're getting the same thing with Jodie Whittaker, where she is going to wrap up this season, and then it will end with the typical holiday specials, but then it will also end with a feature-length TV special, which the only person that they've considered to be feature length before was The End of Time Part 1 and 2, which was David Tennant's last hurrah,
Oof.
which was over 3 hours.
That regeneration scene really gets you.
Man,
That's
I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
TJ, do you have a guess? Can you give me a guess? And anybody who's a Whovian in the live chat here, do you have a guess at her final words? It's a big thing. Whenever they regenerate, they always have their final words will be on T-shirts and tattoos and Funko Pop boxes and everything for decades to come. What do you guess would be her last words?
Finally, I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
Probably like I think maybe just I've not watched a single Peter Capaldi episode or
Man, you're missing out.
What's her name?
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker episode.
Man, you're not missing out.
Like I think I've said the last Doctor Who I watched was Matt Smith. I think it's mostly because sorry, it's kind of a tangent, but I think it's mostly because I only really watched it because my dad really liked that show, and I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, and so I watched it on Netflix because I think they had like decently up to date usually.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe just like a goodbye or something. I don't know her take, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah, I think I'll just say this on her. I think she had the potential. I think her Doctor is not the worst. It's the least great.
Really?
It's the least great. It is, but I think she has the most untapped potential of any of them because I think I'm sorry, I just think Chris Chibnall is just such. And it's weird because he did such great work on Broadchurch and stuff, but I just think the skill set doesn't translate, and I think he just doesn't. He's doing the show that like he wants it to be, but I think because he's like a mega Doctor Who fan, and I think when a fan like that gets into that position, that you can dictate what actually happens with the show. I think. And I'm a diehard Doctor Who fan. I am a diehard Doctor Who fan. They really lost me with some of the lore bending and new revelations and like you can't. It went so far left of field from what we have known about the character, like retconning and little changes.
Can you give me something? Can you give me something that you think I would know?
Yeah, so you know how the whole thing, like you think about David Tennant, Matt Smith time, the Time War.
Yep.
All that stuff John Hurt, the Time War, and how Gallifrey was gone and stuff.
Yep.
Well, this was saying that, like, and it was kind of cool because it's like, it was kind of the show moving past Gallifrey because that was such a big part of the original show. They basically brought it all the way back around, and the Doctor was like the progenitor of the species. Like, the Doctor was the first regeneration. The Doctor created the regeneration cycle and like the timeless child.
How the fuck do you even explain that? Like what?
Not very well.
Some
apparently.
sci-fi stuff. Like
not very well.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Like I'll say this because we still have not done our official review of the finale of Loki. But my problems with Loki were the same problems I have with Chris Chibnall's run on Doctor Who. I think it gets a little too sci-fi convoluted for its own good, and I think it loses its audience a little bit. But that being said, I honestly, if they're doing that feature-length, special to end her on, bring somebody else in. Have somebody else write that. Give her like a huge last hurrah. Bring back like Stephen Moffat just to write that or something, or something like that.
He left, didn't he?
Yeah, he left with Capaldi.
He left with Capaldi? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was on for
he's been on for years.
He started with 8 episodes in the last season of Tenet, and then all of Matt Smith and all of Capaldi.
Oh, I thid he was on longer than that. Like I thought.
That was like 10 years.
I thought he had written it like. Although when did the original end? I thought he had written it like.
No, that ended in like the early 90s. No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Brandon, have you ever watched a single episode of Doctor Who?
No.
No. Fair.
I know.
Fair enough.
I know that it has a huge following, and it's like one of those sci-fi movies that sci-fi series.
Shows. Yeah.
It's just like I said last episode that like it's just really hard for me to like sit down and watch consistently episodes after episodes. It's just a time investment that I feel like I don't have right now.
I would say if I had to pick who do you have a pick for next Doctor, TJ?
That's be English.
I was gonna say for showrunner.
And it can be man or woman now, so
yeah, I would say for showrunner, I would actually like to. I don't know if he's super busy now because he's kind of mainstream famous now, but Mark Gatiss, so Minecraft Holmes from Sherlock, like he's been in a couple episodes of Doctor Who and stuff, but he's also a very good writer and producer. I think he could really elevate that show to a pretty good level. I would really love to see him do that. And he wrote a lot of episodes with Stephen Moffat too. They have a very close relationship. So I think he would be great for a showrunner. But man, I gotta say, and I don't know if this is just Green Knight fever or Newsroom fever because he's great in both. I would love to see Dev Patel be. I mean,
is he English?
Dev Patel?
I don't know. I feel like I've only seen him in like 2 things.
Didn't you watch you saw Green Knight?
Oh, I guess
Slumdog Millionaire.
I've never seen Slumdog.
Actually, he's doing an accent in Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah, no, he's British. Yeah, he's like through and through British. Like his accent in The Green Knight is his actual accent.
Yeah.
I would love Dev Patel to be the Doctor. I mean, that might be too big of a guess.
I feel like that's almost like I don't want to say a step down.
Yeah.
But almost kind of is.
He'd have to be in the right place in his career to entertain.
Yeah.
But I think he would be an amazing choice.
Like I said, because I always felt
that right there. That's very true. Gatiss as a showrunner, or I could see him as the Doctor as well. Both, I agree with.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
I always felt like this show was kind of like a stepping stone to bigger things in a up and coming career. Like I always said, like Matt's like when I saw Karen Gillan in Matt Smith's season, never did I think that she was going to be this huge, celebrity. Even Matt Smith, he's in hella shit now.
Morbius, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You look at just the one episode, just Matt Smith's first episode, the 11th hour. You have Matt Smith before he became a mega movie star. You have Karen Gillan before she became a mega movie star, and you have Olivia Colman before she became a mega movie star.
Oh my God,
you have all 3 of those people just in that 43 minutes of television that kicked off Matt Smith's run. Everybody now is like huge box office names, like all that stuff, and I'm like, it makes me proud as a show because you're right, it is absolutely a stepping stone thing. You look at Christopher Eccleston is doing great work. Almost everybody from Doctor Who has been in the MCU. Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Karen Gillan, Arthur Darvill was on Legends of Tomorrow. I think he's going like more like the Robert Pattinson route now. He's like doing indie stuff, but still very, very cool and great actor. Peter Capaldi, Suicide Squad, also just a bunch of other movies that he's really popping off in recently, doing excellent work. So yeah, I mean, absolutely fantastic, and I am excited to see what the future could hold for Jodie Whittaker's career. I hope that the fact that the season, because also like viewership was down in her time as well. Like I hope that doesn't affect it because I think she's a genuinely really good performer. And I'd love to see her in other stuff too. I'd love to see her get that kind of springboard that the other people got. But yeah, great show. I hope I as a diehard Doctor Who fan, I want to be in a position where I am dying to watch the episodes week to week again, because the last time I watched Doctor Who week to week was Capaldi's last season. That was it. That was the last time. I binged watched the first season of Jodie's because I didn't have it was like a weird thing going on with BBC America at the time, so I didn't have access to the show. And now I haven't even watched the last 2 seasons yet. I haven't even watched it. I've watched like bits and pieces. I watched like the Timeless Child arc and stuff, but other than that, I just don't have the interest anymore because of the way that the writing's been. So yeah, I hope that it improves. Let's go. Let's move on. I know I said we have to go quickly, and I just spent like 10 minutes talking about Doctor Who. Sorry.
Okay.
Black Panther 2. Set picture taken, translated some Wakandan writing. It says T'Challa, our king, our hero. It was an honor, so it looks like we have official confirmation. which a lot of people expected that the route they're going is that he is going to, pass away in universe. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that there is a better way to handle it, or do you think that's kind of the proper way to handle the situation?
Brandon?
It's gonna be hard to watch, like, to say the least. I think, like, death is like so final, and like we outside of here, like, there have been issues going on around in our personal lives that, like, it just is hard to really deal with that, and then, like, to see it on screen knowing that he really is gone and how powerful he was, and all the, like, the movies that he started in Civil War when he came in, and then obviously with Infinity War, Endgame, and everything. It's just like, I think it's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Especially if they do like a tribute to him. It's just like, it's on a level of like if RDJ had passed away and they did that ending scene, like it would just be like even more hard to watch, because like
yeah
yeah
RDJ had passed away before Endgame, and then that was how the movie ended. I don't think people would live. I don't even know.
Right. Would. Yeah, I'm not really surprised. I'm kind of glad they're going that route. I cast. But this does not mean that they are not moving forward with a new Black Panther per se.
Right.
Like, I think obviously somebody in universe is going to take, the mantle of Black Panther, whether that be, I don't know who, like Shuri or somebody else. But yeah, it's good. Like Brandon said, it's going to be hard to watch. And I know we talked about it. When he passed, like, even I had not seen
that was a year ago.
Yeah, but like I remember like seeing it on Twitter or whatever, like, oh, Chadwick Boseman passed away at such a young age. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to watch.
Yeah, August 2020. I can't believe it's been a year already. That's insane. That's absolutely crazy that it's been that long. I remember when that happened, and I don't even know. Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I think there was no other way to handle it. I think you have to be respectful, and you have to be respectful, and you also have to, you can't saddle the franchise with dealing with that weight in a way that makes the franchise suffer as well. So I think it's the most honorable thing to do, and it's the thing that I think honors him the most, is to be able to have it go on without him and all that stuff. It's kind of a cliche, but it's like, I doubt he would have wanted. He was not the kind of person that'd be like, I'm Black Panther or nobody else type of, that kind of thing.
Especially with the story with Black Panther.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that, it's just the leader of Wakanda, like, takes that role.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now, what if I asked you guys, or what if I told you guys that there was some weird, funky stuff going on with the voice cast of Marvel Studios' What If?
I'd say
weird, funky stuff.
That. Yeah, I saw this last night, and
I'd
I was going to ask you guys about
Disney.
What?
Disney?
Not
Disney's never handled things poorly, ever.
Yeah,
what?
I mean, it's crazy. I forgot. Like, I remember like sitting there going, how are they gonna like voice these people like with these actors and actresses? And I'm like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, and now, granted, they do have over 50 original MCU actors coming back to reprise their roles, but it cannot be understated that there is some weird, funky stuff going on. We have a report saying that it was originally reported that Benedict Cumberbatch was not a part of the series. Now Benedict Cumberbatch is reportedly voicing Doctor Strange in every episode of Doctor Strange appearing, which is really weird to me because in the trailer, it really didn't sound like Benedict Cumberbatch. So I don't really know how that works. I don't know if that's a late stage change that they did, because in animation there's temp tracks, there's temporary voice actors that come in to voice it, and they could think that they're going to be the guy right up until the main guy steps in. So like Steven Stanton is a good. He's a very famous voice actor. He's been in a bunch of Star Wars stuff. He voiced Ben Kenobi in Rebels, and he thought that he was just going to be the temp track up until like the month that the episode aired. So that could be the situation that we're in, that they maybe thought they couldn't get Benedict Cumberbatch, but they were like, no, we have enough time, we can make it work, type of thing. And then we also have Dave Bautista saying that he was never even approached to voice Drax.
Makes me
like,
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah,
because the original thought with like with this stuff was like, oh, you know, like all these people have different rates, like RDJ's rate is probably like sky high. You know, to make an animated show, movie, whatever, not cheap. So that was kind of, you know, the thought process. But then it's kind of like, what are the odds? Like, again, this is no offense to like Dave Bautista, great actor. But like, it's like, do you think that Sam Jackson's rate is lower, or like, do you think Dave Bautista's rate is higher than Jackson's, or like anybody else on this cat? Because Sam Jackson's in it, right?
If I had to guess, I would say this is probably what happened. Is probably they, you know, if I had to guess, Drax is probably in one episode. Drax is probably in one episode, and it was probably quicker, cheaper, and easier to just have somebody that does, because we also have the producer of What If came out and, or sorry, the producer / showrunner, I'm not really sure how they're referring to the titles, came out and said, you know, the way that they approached the casting decisions was about what's going to give us the best performance. Like, what is going to give us the best performance on the show? And they said, we looked at that first rather than looking at, can we get these people? They were like, we didn't want to write the characters around the actors. We wanted to write the story for the characters that we wanted to write. And I think that's all well and good too, but I think maybe what happened is they just thought it would be easier not to get people like that. And I think maybe it was just as simple as that, which I think is bad.
Like, I can but you can look at that and just say, but literally almost every other single person that has ever starred as a character in the movies is in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Regardless of their, like, in all honesty, regardless of if they're a good voice actor or not.
Yeah.
So I don't really think, like, I get it. But if you look at the cast, it's literally the entire cast from the MCU. Like, except minus, you know, like Tom Holland, I think, is in it. RDJ's not in it. I don't know who else. But yeah,
Chris Evans is the only other one that
Chris
I know
Evans.
that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's only
Chris Pratt.
I think.
Yes, I believe so.
I didn't see it.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I don't even know if Star-Lord's in it.
Show. Yeah, I don't even know if Peter Quill's in the show.
I can tell you Chris Hemsworth's in it.
Yeah, yes.
I can tell you Tom Hiddleston's in it. I can tell you Josh Brolin's in it.
I can tell you Clark Gregg is in it. Ooh.
Yeah, like I don't know. That's
better
weird
do a what if Phil Coulson never died, and it's just an animated version of the pilot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not even a what if, it's just what happened. But another thing about What If that I want to touch on real quick is that same producer came out and said, make no mistake, this is not What If like the comics. This is not What If like
so it's not a rehash.
Just fun throwaway things. This is What If the series that this is canon to the MCU. Like, it is not. Yeah.
Since when?
Since he just said
No. They've definitely said beforehand that this was not canon.
I think you're thinking of Star Wars Visions.
No, I was thinking of this. Didn't they say that it wasn't canon?
No, they never said that.
Isn't this premiering on August 6th? Not August 11th?
August 11th. Are you okay?
I don't know.
It is August 11th, so I would take Sean's word for it.
Why is it canon? No, I'm seeing it says August 11th, but I could have sworn it's 6th.
Well, it's canon because it's in the comics. The comics were just like, you know, oh, what if this happened? And it was just one-off issues. This is they're different branches of the multiverse that we saw start in Loki
Fair.
that they said is going to come through, and we've gotten reports. We can talk about it real quick. I wasn't going to make it its own news topic, but we've gotten reports that Haley Atwell has been cast in Doctor Strange 2 as the Captain Carter version from What If into live action, which I think is incredible.
So, how do you feel then? I don't know how you've always felt about, because this is different than what you would say Star Wars is doing, because Star Wars is filling in gaps. This is branching out. Like Star Wars, we're filling in the gaps between episodes 2 and 3, or between after
you
New
mean
Hope
the animated series?
Yeah, the animated series.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, this is broadening what we've seen live action already. It's not really filling in any gaps.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Because this is telling you a brand new story.
Move. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're all telling brand new stories, but you know what I mean.
Well, I think if the brand new story is good enough that, I mean, we saw from the trailers and everything, and we already know that they're going to form, that these different members, Captain Carter, T'Challa, Star-Lord, a couple other people, you know, they're going to form a team of their own, you know, a multiversal team. And I think if that team, you know, if the story is good enough and stuff, and if some aspects of that team then bleed over into live action, I think that's very cool that they're doing it that way. And it'll be a move that, you know, Disney didn't really make until very recently with Star Wars. You're only now recently seeing, you know, things come into live action from the animated shows. But I think it's a good idea, and I like the fact that it is canon. I think if you were to put out a series of this scale with this much voice talent and said, "Oh, well, it's not canon, it's just a cool fun show that we're doing," I think you would see your viewership immediately tank. Because what do people come to the MCU for? They come to it for the tapestry of storytelling that's unfolding with every single new element. And I think if you say, well, this isn't part of the tapestry, this is the throw pillow on the side. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get people to show up and watch your show.
See, I feel like if it is canon, though, then you have to have all the voices. I feel like it's not.
I think that's more of a just artistic thing. Because, I mean, if it's a multiversal thing, you could just say, like, oh, you know. I mean, look at Star Wars. Star Wars, all those shows are canon, but Matt Lantern's not. Matt Lantern isn't Anakin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen is.
Yeah, but at that time, Star Wars was not the property that Marvel, like, obviously that was poor wording. It's not the universe building as like as Marvel is doing right now. Marvel is about like that continuity and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where Star Wars necessarily isn't maybe about that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Oh, I don't know. But
I think at the end of the day, it's just unfortunate realism kind of creeping into the series, which is due to scheduling, due to COVID, due to price, due to whatever, you know, some people just aren't feasible to get. You know, that's the thing.
But
like
you gotta ask RDJ, the guy. You can't ask him.
Yeah, I mean that might be an exception. Like, I don't know what happened with that, but like, I think that was the kind of thing where it's like, well, we're already not getting RDJ. Batista wants $1 million for it. I'm not saying this that he said this or anything, but I'm just saying, for example, you know, they're like, Batista wants $1 million for his episode, and we could get Jerry to do the voice, and he sounds exactly like him. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I think decisions like that are made in animation, and that's not to degrade or downgrade animation at all, because I think animation is fantastic. But yeah, I think it just comes down to that, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have our first official image and release date for Hawkeye. The series will be premiering on Disney Plus on November 24th of this year. So what are your guys' thoughts? Are you guys excited for Hawkeye? I know TJ is not. No, just kidding. I don't know where he's gone. But before, it was very low on his anticipation list. But what do you guys think of this first official image, if you guys have seen it? And what do you think about the November Thanksgiving release date?
I'll let Brandon go first.
Yeah, I'm a huge Hawkeye fan, but if you couldn't tell from like what happened last time when I talked about like how I really like the whole movie with his character and then like introducing his family in the second one. But so, I mean, as people may know, I haven't watched the other series, so I definitely want to catch up on those. It's probably going to be like one of those times where I like have to put it off for a little bit because I'm going to be busy with other things. But I'm definitely I'm starting. So I'm starting Falcon and Winter Soldier first soon. And, like I'm going to try to get through that in the next 2 weeks. And then I'll have my vacation week, and hopefully I'll be able to watch either WandaVision or Loki, whichever one my wife would prefer to watch. So we'll see what happens and go from there. But yeah, just like MCU, I gotta see what the MCU series are about before I can make a judgment call on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am kind of excited. I'm excited to see how Florence Pugh plays in all this. I think that's got my excitement level a little bit more up there. But again, maybe if you would have given me, again, this is way before Disney Plus shows or anything. But if you would have given me this show maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago or something like that, I would care a little bit more right now about it.
Well,
don't get me wrong, though. I love his family dynamic. That whole him having a family, them disappearing, and everything. That was great.
Yeah, the main thing, one of the main things I'm really excited to see is if they're remember we got that rumor a couple weeks back that Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be back playing the Kingpin in a role in this show, and if that's true, I think that'd be really really cool to see how they work that in. I think would be incredible, so cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But so let's talk about. We've got to be kind of quick with it, unfortunately. But the big news story of the week, we have Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow herself, is taking up arms against the mouse and suing for material breach of contract.
Fight the power.
Oh.
And loss of earnings. So this is Scarlett Johansson coming off the back of the day and date move to Disney Plus Premier Access for Black Widow, is arguing in court that she was not properly consulted on this decision, that this has made a significant hindrance to the money that she would have earned off the back of the film, because a very common, especially with actors and actresses of her caliber and her level, very common practice of getting paid is, especially if it's something like this where it was kind of more of a she was a producer, she picked the director, so she took a lesser paycheck at the start of production for a back end deal afterwards. So a back end deal means you take a certain percent of the box office and that adds to your earnings. So basically you get a little bit less pay up front, but you get a deal on the back. Now what she is arguing is that because she wasn't properly consulted, or her agency or her people were not properly consulted with the move to Disney Plus, that has gone to a loss of earnings for her, which I'm just going to give my comments on it right now. Yeah, that's not cool. You told her it was going to be exclusively theatrical, and it does not matter how much the movie made, because the way the back end deal works is you get a percentage of what it makes. So it could have made $5 and she would get 50 cents, you know what I mean? Or it could have made 500 million and she gets 500,000 or whatever, or 5 million or whatever it might be. But the fact is, they did not let it play out like that. They took its potential box office away from it because they made the decision to move it to there. And I'm sorry, but I think the statement that Disney put out, which I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it in front of me, but I've been reading up on this so much, I think I could pretty much nail it, was basically they said, this lawsuit has no legal standing, and and it's frankly disappointing and sad that Miss Johansson would, not take into consideration they said the callous.
You want me to read it?
Yes, please hit it with.
Oh, sorry, never mind. I don't have it. Apologize. I thought I did.
Okay.
I'm still looking for it.
Okay. Hang
on. Yeah, no, that was what I was reading was her like response or like the women's group in Hollywood, I think, or something like that. The response to what they said.
Okay, this is what Disney said in response to this lawsuit, which is a 100% valid legal lawsuit for loss of earnings and a breach of her contract because she was not consulted.
Yeah, you pretty much have to say. I knew you were going to say, and this is almost perfect.
There is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 of the COVID-19 pandemic. Two things there. Well, much more than two things, but two main things there. Mm-hmm. Three main things. First thing, whoever wrote that and whoever said that, I hope they never work in Hollywood or in any PR business ever again, because what? Second of all, this lawsuit has nothing to do with COVID-19. The only thing that COVID-19 has to do with this is you wanted to, what you thought, Disney, to make as much money as possible was to move it to Disney Plus, and you did not consult Scarlett Johansson, one of the executive producers and star of your film, and one of the most loyal, foot soldiers that Marvel has had over the past, decade plus. You did not consult her or her people, and so that has lost her money that is rightfully hers. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. You promised her a back-end deal. You promised her an exclusive theatrical release. The only reason that you did not hold up that promise is because your solution to COVID was to put it on Premier Access. That was not Scarlett Johansson's solution to COVID. She was not consulted. Third of all, there is absolutely merit to this. and also, another thing that I didn't read in there is that they also said, that the move to Disney Plus Premier Access has, and I'd say this specifically, has significantly increased Miss Johansson's ability to make more money or make more profit on top of her already on top of what she already made, which was $20 million. So not only did they say that and try to say that Scarlett Johansson had no care for, people involved with the pandemic or result of the pandemic, but they also directly out her salary. Like, her salary. Oh, look at Scarlett Johansson. She's got so much money already and she wants more of it. Isn't she so, greedy type of thing? And it's like, what are you doing? Like, are you freaking kidding me? And this whole thing to me just goes back to, I think, and I had benefit of the doubt with Bob Chapek, the new CEO, but if this is the kind of things we've had a bunch of mismanagement of everything to do with how they've handled COVID. And I get that Bob Iger wanted to step down. It's totally within his right, but what a time to do it. I mean,
he stayed for a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, he stayed on as chairman, but he doesn't make decisions.
Oh, I thought he stayed as CEO for a little bit.
No, he stayed as chairman. Oh. Yeah. Okay. And what's it called? But like decisions like this and stuff, like the move to Disney Plus and stuff, that's all Chapek. That's top level executive decision making. And also on top of that, even if he tries to say that he didn't have to do with the Disney Plus thing, how they're handling this situation and how high visibility and high pressure this situation has become, it is absolutely being handled by Chapek. I could tell you that right now, because it is so what's the word that I'm trying to say? It's so dominating everything right now. It's trending. Everybody's talking about it. Even outside of movie circles and stuff like that, everybody's talking about it. It's so dominant, in pop culture right now that you better believe they're handling it on the highest levels possible. And one of the things that Iger always did was keep the people under him happy and make sure that everybody was happy and satisfied before making any big decisions like that. And right now, Chapek is just throwing away his relationships and burning bridges to make as much profit as possible. And it's like, I get that you have to make profit, and I get that you have to, you're in a pandemic and stuff, but you are still Disney. You are the Walt Disney Company. Like, what are you doing? It's just so ridiculous.
See, Kevin Feige pissed off.
Exactly, yeah. And that was the next thing I was going to say, too, is another person that Bob Iger knew. Kevin Feige is your ace in the hole. He is your golden goose that's dropping these, 1.2, $2.8 billion grossing movies for you. And you have in the press, you have not just, Joe Blow movie reports, you have Variety and the Hollywood Reporter saying that Kevin Feige is angry and embarrassed to be associated with Disney over their handling of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have not seen to quote, Robert California, you have completely bungled this. I just, like, it's just the way that they have handled this is absolutely terrible. Bob Chapek might as well be Bob Kazamakis. That's all I got to say. Anyways,
Brandon,
I'll get off my soapbox. What are your guys' thoughts on all this?
So 2 things on this. Number one, I saw that DJ Dwayne Johnson also came out and talked about it because he also has the Jungle Cruise. That. Yeah, the Jungle Cruise thing on Premiere, and his rep said I think it's Seven Rock, maybe it's called. I think that is Seven Rock Productions or something along those lines.
It's like $7.
Yeah, $7. Yeah, because that was his whole thing. $7. Yeah, I should have known that. But yeah, they'd come out and they made a statement that like it's whatever. He had forgone it, but like Dwayne Johnson's Dwayne Johnson, and he's gonna always just make money, so it's whatever. But the other thing I was gonna touch on this was there was a reason this movie was delayed for the year and a half that it was, or whatever the year that it was delayed for, and that was because less people were able to obviously go to movie theaters, and the movie theaters obviously had the setback and closed down or whatever. And then what you do to fix that is to release it in theaters. And the idea that you would also release it on Disney Plus is, I guess, a benefit to us as people who are kind of still weary about what's going on in the outside world, and we do have the option to then watch the movies. However, it is a part of their legal contract, if it is to be found this way, that they have to honor Scarlett Johansson's contract with them to say that she must be consulted on any kind of decision like this, even after, like you said, she agreed to a deal that is obviously more lucrative if the movie succeeds. And to right now, it's seeming as though it's not going to do as well as most other Marvel movies because of obviously the pandemic, and then obviously, as we're talking about now, the streaming of it on Disney Plus Premiere, and it's just not doing as well. Because if people can have one person pay $30, or if we can have 10 people pay $30, then we don't need to pay the tickets for everyone, the $16 or $20 that people are paying at movie theaters to go see this. It really puts a dent into that. I mean, we're talking about double, triple, quadruple the amount of money that it could be making just based on sales alone. So it's definitely something to monitor. And like you said, people are talking. I knew about this. I know I've talked to people about this already, and just like contract wise, it's crazy because these big corporations are doing things like this. And yeah.
One thing, Sean, you didn't mention. I mean, it's kind of, but now apparently like Emma Stone is thinking about suing Disney, and so is Emily Blunt to get her money. Which I think is
DJ might have
very
a
interesting
relationship with the mouse, but Emily Blunt and Emma Stone are like, I gotta get my money.
Yeah, I gotta get my bag, which I don't blame them because.
We also
again,
have,
this is
Gerard Butler suing I think it's Millennium Media for his residuals for Olympus Has Fallen off the back of this.
Oh, that, yeah. Which again, this could be another like kind of major shift where it's like, hey, don't fuck with me,
Yeah.
And you brought up again a good point, Sean, with like Chapek and everything, and it's just like something like 3 years ago, you don't think this would not like.
No, it wouldn't have happened.
I don't know who, because that statement would have definitely gone to at least 5 people before it got sent out.
Yeah.
And the fact that everybody was like, looks good, calling out her salary, fine with me. We're gonna win the public opinion, so everybody's gonna be on our side. And then I can't imagine nobody was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put her how much money she's made, or just not be such a dick in the statement or something like that, right? And this might, I mean, I don't know, because I feel like somebody's always gonna want to Disney, or Disney's aren't, but this might maybe deter some people in the future from, maybe, can I trust people at Disney to pay me my money?
Yeah.
Like in the future, maybe some people are like, I don't want to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you can't piss
the wheel.
Yeah, right. You can't piss Kevin Feige off. Can't do that.
Right. He's a pretty big spoke. He's the one that's he's the axle that's holding the wheel and pushing it and everything. So yeah, if you break that, then you have to.
And then I don't know if you've also seen, Sean, that apparently like Iger and Chapek like aren't friends anymore. Like they're like estranged apparently now.
Really? No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've seen like this like a few times that they're just like not cool with each other, which is like, crazy. Goddamn, man. Yeah, that damn mouse.
I know.
Give me my money.
Well, let us know what you guys think. Sound off about any of the news below, either in the live chat or in the comments. If you're watching, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button. We're onwards and upwards to 300 subscribers. I just want to take a second just to shout out thank you to you guys, because we had our first video this past week I believe it's up to almost 12,000 views right now. But we had our first video hit 10,000 views, and not only did it hit 10,000 views, it hit 10,000 views within 24 hours or within 48
I don't know.
hours?
It was fast though.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely.
Go look through my texts.
It was definitely
TJ was
within 48 hours, but I don't know if it was within 24. It was sometime in the 36-hour range, we'll call it. It hit 10,000 views, which was like insane. And also a great trailer. I mean, that House of Gucci trailer was amazing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for that. Like I said, and TJ said the number a little bit earlier, we are almost at 260 subscribers, and this time last week we were at 215, I think, or 218.
Something like that, yeah.
And then right when we posted the video, we were around 220. So we have gotten almost 40 subscribers in the last 3 days. 38 of which were like on the first day. Or 35 of which, something like that. So we have seen huge growth from that video. We're onwards and upwards to 300 subscribers. Got the new look going on and stuff. So we are dedicated to this. As like we always say, as long as you guys keep supporting us, we will keep the content coming. And we won't say what it is right now, but keep an eye out for the channel, because we do have a brand new show, brand new video launching tomorrow. Brand new thing that we're trying out on the channel. So I hope you guys are interested in that. TJ, you have anything to say about your enormous success?
Yes, I agree. Okay, one, Danielle said this, and then there was another comment. We have fixed the reaction layout, so you will see more of our faces. The trailer. You can still see the trailer, just not as big. Somebody said I reacted like a flower, I believe.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with. I think I was sick, right? Because what was that, Thursday or Friday?
Was that the plant one that you're talking about?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Because if it's the plant one, I want you to give it the proper respect. They didn't say he reacted like a flower. They said a fucking plant would have been a more entertaining reaction than this guy. That is exactly
Not
what
my
they
burner
said.
account either.
If we're being honest, no, they didn't say, oh, this guy was like a flower. They said a fucking plant would have been a better reaction than this guy.
Yeah, show it.
I died
with that
Thank you
number.
for the Thank
Yeah.
you for the criticism. I think
Yeah.
we're at 11K now.
Thank you for the criticism you said.
We're at over 500 likes on the video. Very good ratio, by the way. I think
Very
we're at
good
less than
ratio.
50, less than 20 dislikes. For somebody who reacted very poorly, apparently. All I can say is thank you and keep watching the content. I'm going to say it again. I offered Brandon the option to react to it with me. He said no thanks. I said okay.
Said I'm
Guy-
terrible.
Little did we know.
This guy could have
People
put
really
teaching in
watched
it.
a terrible one.
He could have put teaching in his rearview mirror. He could have been a full blown YouTube celebrity if only he had done the video. You know, that's the thing. That's
Oh
the
my
thing.
God.
You never know. You never know.
Like I said,
No,
I
but-
just told him I was terrible.
Well, like I told TJ though, it's the perfect storm though. If Brandon had said yes, and maybe the video is 6 minutes instead of 5 minutes, maybe the algorithm doesn't pick it up as well, and maybe you know it's all gravy. You know, whatever happens is what happens. Yep, absolutely. We got 12,000 views. Immediate next video sitting at a hot
Terrible.
10. Sitting at a hot 10
Hot
for the
10.
Venom trailer. My reaction to a Ryan Reynolds viral
This is
just
pretty
like
good.
weird joke for Free Guy, 200.
200.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Check it out. Check it out. The next level Reynolds reaction video is what it's called, and it's got the new reaction layout, the new look for the PFN reacts. So check out that video. But I'll take it. You know, YouTube is a wild mistress. You never know what's gonna happen. I don't think the algorithm even knows. And if it is Don Cheadle, if LG Rhythm is controlling this channel, please. Just let us beat Roka. He'll know what that means. All right, so let's go ahead and get on to the main topic today. And you know, I wanted to do like an hour or so on the news. We did like an hour and 20, but we also talked at the beginning and stuff.
Whatever.
So let's get right into it. So the big difference with this week, because we're trying to make it go a little bit quicker, we're going to cut out the punting aspect. So we're just going to go through the list. We're just going to go, round robin, one apiece. And, we'll talk about it when it's brought up. I would say the only exception for that. No, actually, yeah, that's just the way that we would have to do it. All right. So, yeah, we are giving our definitive personal rankings of the Star Wars franchise, all 11 theatrically released films. I don't think any of us included the 12th, because technically the Clone Wars film is a theatrically released animated film, but I don't think any of us put that on there. So we are talking about the 11 live action theatrically released films. So why don't we have a guest of honor go first? Mr. Brandon, what is your number?
Coming
11?
in at number 11. The steaming hot pile that is Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, is number 11. There is a bar that is good movie and then bad movies below it. This is the only movie that falls below the line. There's a giant gap between 9 and the rest of them. It ruins the whole Anakin Skywalker arc. It ruins the prophecy of the first 6 movies, the prophecy that they helped establish in 1 through 3, the reason that Anakin is such a conflicting character, if you want to root for him, if you're against him, whatever. It just ruined a lot of that. There was a lot of issues with the relationship between Kylo and Rey, and then the whole thing at the end where she announces that she is Rey Skywalker instead of Rey Palpatine or whatever, and only seen it once, only want to see it once. I mean, I'll show my kids when they're older the movie, but it's hard. It's a hard one. I find myself not wanting to go back and watch it. I'll probably watch 8 and stop there. 8 had a better ending to the series than 9.
8 did have a better ending to the series. Yeah, I remember coming out of Last Jedi and saying, I was like,
ended there.
You could have just ended there. Yeah, I was like, you could have just ended it right there. Like, all right, Luke's dead. The like maybe everything with the First Order isn't wrapped up with a nice little bow, but Kylo's still out there, so there's a potential for maybe another trilogy, 10 years on, 15 years on from now. But but the First Order it's defeated. The First Order is defeated. The good guys are gonna rebuild, all that stuff. The jet, as long as there's a spark, whatever, the Jedi broom boy, all that stuff.
Yep.
My number 11 is also Rise of Skywalker. TJ?
My number 11.
Oh god.
It's not Rise of Skywalker, and as I look more at the list, I go, man, maybe I should update this list and fix it. So my number 11 is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
I knew it. I said that's the one that I think he hates.
CGI sucks. Acting not great. Writing sucks.
It was 2002. I mean, geez.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just looking back on it, it's definitely the worst of the prequels. And again, Rise of Skywalker, not the highest on it. It's not high on my list either.
Mm-hmm.
It's higher than the bottom, but it's not high. But Rise of Skywalker,
You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
I didn't completely hate it. Did I cancel my tickets to the IMAX screening I was supposed to go to the next day?
Absolutely.
Yes, I did. But I have actually watched it again. I watched it 2 times. Did I enjoy it the second time? No, I didn't. But I like it more than Attack of the Clones.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Brandon, what is your...
Now, wait.
Oh.
If I watch both of them back to back and you ask me again, maybe I'll change. I don't know. I have not seen Attack of the Clones in a long... So...
All right. Are we ready for the back-to-back hot take here? Because
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Don't give it to me.
What's number 10?
It's me and then my other one. Number 10,
Okay.
Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And really quick, the only reason it's ahead of Rise of Skywalker and it is put above there is because the original screening had that kind of nostalgia, and I walked out of it very, very pleased. Upon watching it more, I have found a lot of issues with the story and how I feel like Finn was treated. I felt like Finn and Kylo were really strong in this movie, and they did not do enough of them. I thought the reveal of Kylo's face was mistimed. That is, you rushed a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I felt myself rooting for Finn, and then the whole story with Rey, I felt like at the end, I was like, man, they're going to start with her. She's going to be like the new lead, and it's going to be great. Finn was all right. If Finn would have been the main character throughout the sequels, I guess we'll call, or the sequels, that they'll be in good hands. But I mean, I was happy either way. I had my predictions of what was going to happen. I thought that it left a good what's going to happen next. But I just felt like they messed up a lot of the story, and too reminiscent of 4, which is also why I hate 9, because I don't hate 9. I strongly dislike 9 because it just felt so much like Return, and I felt like they just tried to redo the original.
I mean, there are shots where it's literally like same thing.
I don't need that. I don't need
Yeah.
the fanfare. I
Okay.
maybe it's my age because I didn't grow up watching those. So I mean, like in the theaters, but yeah, whatever.
Right.
7.
Okay.
Force Awakens.
7.
Okay, so my...
You're 10, right?
Yeah, my
All
number
right.
10.
You're 10. Force Awakens. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the way that we're doing it, too, is, like, we're doing... we're just going around. So, like, if my... Like, I'm just going to talk about Force Awakens when I get there. So, like, don't give away what it is on your... Like, that kind of thing. Yeah. I was confused in my own head. So...
I would have gone off on Attack of the Clones, but yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. I was like, and then I was like, no, we'll wait. My number 10 is a movie that I used to... It's a movie that has dropped in my esteem for it over the past couple of months. And past year, really. And as number 10 is, unfortunately, The Last Jedi. I really enjoy it. So if you take out Canto Bight, I enjoy it as a movie, as a cool
Not a
space
Star
movie
Wars movie.
with Star Wars characters and stuff, and that's really cool. And like I said, I do genuinely think it's a better, the way that the movie ends. I think it's a better wrapping up point. It's a better stepping off point of the Skywalker saga than Episode 9 is. Episode 8 was like, all right, if you want to do a ninth one, you take down that guy Kylo, and the whole thing just kind of will crumble underneath it, and that's all you got to worry about, type of thing. Maybe even Kylo gets redeemed, and then the whole thing crumbles. Either way, you just got to take on that guy, and that's the end of your franchise. Episode 9 then was like, but what if this that like all these, it opened more cans of worms than the entire 8 previous films did. But anyways, my big gripe with Episode 8, and I know that it's not a very hot take, but it's the way that it handled Luke. It's more and more, it really has gotten to me that I just think Rian Johnson, I think, is a great director, and I think he's a really good writer too. I think he set out, it's kind of the same thing we talked about with Doctor Who. I think he set out to make the movie that he wanted with how he viewed the characters, and that is totally well and good. But I think with a Star Wars film, I think you have to understand that, like, it's not like a Marvel movie. It's not like a Marvel movie where you can come in and make an Ant-Man movie that's, like your own style and put a little twist on it and stuff like this. Star Wars movies are like monumental events, and it's a monumental story that people dedicate their lives to. And you don't have 25 movies in 10 years. You have, at this point, you had 7 movies in 35 years. It's like it was not even close to the realm of the same thing. And I think he failed to realize that, because I really just struggle watching that and picturing that as like the same Luke that, I just think that everything that he does in that movie is not the same kind of characterization that he had. And believe me, I am confident to say that out of everybody that I know in my life, I am the most steeped in Star Wars lore and mythology and canon as anybody that I know. So believe me, I understand. Yeah, all right, some stuff went down and he went into hiding and stuff. I know that. Yeah, but also he would not have done that. I totally, in this case, I totally agree with Mark Hamill, but I also see from a technical side of things, it's not Mark Hamill's decision, and I totally understand that. I'm just saying my personal problems with the movie is that I think Luke is not Yoda. Yoda, under Yoda's watch, the Jedi were allowed to have a monumental sized institutional failure from the root of the Jedi Order. Crazy. And that all happened under Yoda's watch. And so he exiled himself, but even he was like, all right, Luke's old enough, let's go. Like, I mean, he wanted to train Leia, that's canon. He was like, who the fuck is this guy? Where's the girl? And Ben was like, it'll be okay. But he was pissed about it still. But anyways, he still did his part, though. He still came back and he did his part 19 years later. And he did it, and he helped the galaxy because he wanted to amend for his mistakes. And that is hundreds and hundreds of years of institutional failure that went on under this guy. What was that? I don't know what that. There was just a weird noise in my house. Luke, like, made one mistake with his kid that he just, like, couldn't explain, or with his nephew that, like, he just, like, couldn't explain. Like, in all that time, he couldn't find him. And also, I don't think that Luke would be, like, so power-hungry / like, everything they talk about with, like, his hubris in that movie. Like, I don't think that is what Luke would have done with his life. I don't think he would have let the power and fame get to him, like the movie says. I think he would have had a conversation with his nephew saying, what's going on? Like, what's going on with you? Do we need to talk about this type of thing? He wouldn't have tried to kill him in the middle of the night and then let it ruin his life for the rest of time and then exile himself and never want to do anything to help anybody and not give a shit where his sister or his best friend or his Wookiee is. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense. All right, that's it. Yeah. Number
I'll try to make 10? It make sense when I get to it.
What's that?
My number 10. Solo. Solo, I didn't care about in the slightest. Went through 2 different directors. You could tell. And I don't know. I didn't need to know how Han Solo got his name for really need to know about the Kessel Run. I didn't need to know about any of it. It doesn't add anything to me. And at the end, at the time when I had not watched Clone Wars, I was very confused because I was like, this guy's dead. I don't know how he's talking to Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
And did I like Donald Glover as Lando. And I think Alden Ehrenreich did a fine job as Han Solo, but I just did not need anything I did not need any backstory. I was perfectly fine knowing what I knew about Han Solo and how he got to where he was in episode 4 and leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Brandon's face.
Do not turn the video off here, please, all you Star Wars fans. I know this is so bad, and this is so sacrilegious. But number 9, I have... Sorry, Sean, and I know this is...
Wallace and Gromit. Oh.
Is episode 4 A New Hope.
Okay. All right.
The reason being...
It's boring.
Brandon, I think you have your... Are you reading off a piece of paper?
Order wrong.
I think it's upside down. You're reading the papers upside down.
9 is definitely not 1.
He's just looking at the posters.
Anyways, so the reason is this is where I start to get into Star Wars good movies, and if I can rewatch it easily. The problem with 4 is that it has to be intertwined with 5 most of the time. I feel myself watching 4 and have to watch 5 after. It struggles on its own, and that's my only gripe with it. I thought it was great. Obviously, the CG isn't as good, but I can.
Of course, so.
Right, I can get past that because it's understandable. But it's standalone movie style. It has a finish with the blowing up of the first Death Star, but I just need to know more. There's a lot of backstory and lore that takes up a majority of the movie, and it isn't fulfilled into 5. And I think that's why 5 is so powerful, is because it kind of wraps everything up. I know it
on some dumb shit.
Do not take this as a knock on episode 4. Like I said, do not turn the video off because I said that. But
it's my 3rd lowest, but don't take that as a... No, I'm just kidding.
I would say it's what, the 9th highest. It's not the 3rd lowest.
There you go. There you go.
There's a bar, and there are the 2 movies I already mentioned that are right around that bar, and then there's a huge gap between that and then where I'm starting now. So it's episode 4 is just for those reasons that I feel like I have to watch 5 right after. I can't just be oh, I'm watching episode 4 tonight, and whenever I want to watch a movie, it's not my first pick for I have a movie night for one night. I'm not going to episode 4.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's just my personal reason for it.
Nice. All right. My number 9, and we'll talk about it again in a little bit. My number 9 is Solo, a Star Wars story. And I have to say I agree with pretty much everything that TJ said. But that being said, I think if you use Brandon's analogy, I think this clears the bar for me. I still think it's an enjoyable movie that I like watching. To me, this movie should not have been about Kessel runs and, all that stuff, or even Lando, really. I mean, I've said before on this show and in personal conversations and stuff, I'm not a huge fan of Donald Glover as Lando. That's probably one of my hottest Star Wars takes, I guess, if you want to call it that. I think he's doing a bang-up job of a Billy D. Williams impression. But I think anything more than that, I think he's not really bringing anything new to the character. Whereas, in my opinion, this is also a take that people disagree with. I think Alden Ehrenreich was a very good Han Solo. I just think his biggest sin is that, and not in my eyes, and everybody else's, is that he's not Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
That's the biggest knock that people have against him. If you ask anybody who says, "Oh, I didn't like that guy that got to play it," and you say, "What's really the issue? What is really the issue you have with him?" And
It's not
they'll
Harrison Ford.
yeah, it's not Harrison Ford, and it's like, well, I understand that, but also, it's I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not Harrison Ford because that's not who the character is anymore. You know what I mean? Or that's not who he was yet, if you want to say it like that. But I think Alden did a very good job with what he had. I think this movie would have been fantastic if it was just like a straight up heist movie. Take the Lando stuff out, take the Kessel Run stuff out, take all the Wookiee rebellion and uprising and stuff, because in canon that's the third time that Han has led liberation of the Wookiees on a couple different places. And I get that, ever since he met Chewie, he has a very soft spot in his heart for Wookiees and stuff. So I get that part. But like, take all that stuff out. Give me this movie being about him and Beckett's crew. Yes, you could give me where he's meeting Chewie. That was cool to see on screen and everything. But give it me where it's just him and Beckett's crew, and you have Dryden Voss, Paul Bettany as the villain. And it's just that. That is, if you had just done that and simplified the story, removed a couple of the action figures off of the mock-up of the story and stuff like that, and just done like a nice, clean, simple, small Solo story, because what is it called? It's called Solo, a Star Wars story. Like, it's like, just give me a little snippet. This was like, okay, everything that's ever happened in Han's life happened in a week. Here it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything prior to Episode 4, obviously. And I just didn't like that. That's it. All right, Brandon. What's 8?
My 9, bro.
No, TJ's 9.
Oh, you're 9. Sorry.
My number 9 is Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Fan service out the wazoo. Coincidences out the wazoo. A movie that definitely in the theater I was kind of like, okay. From the first minute, this doesn't really make much sense. The Emperor's back. We don't know how, but he's back somehow, some way.
Somehow, Palpatine.
But I think it's a little bit, just a tad bit higher because it kind of ends. It's just the ending movie, I guess. Not saying it does it in the greatest way possible. And obviously it had it was a big burden. And we all know the sequel trilogy, not all written at one time. Written very multiple different points, different directors, different writers, whatever. Yeah. But there was, I don't know. I didn't absolutely like hate it, other than obviously all the fan service. The fan service sucked.
All right. So number 8, this was also, I will say, interchanged with, I just adjusted this. Solo, a Star Wars story, was number 9, and Episode 4 was above it. But the only reason I put Solo above it, because, as I mentioned, it's an easy standalone movie that I can just watch. If I flip it on, it's going to be easy to just watch. I feel like what Sean said about Donald Glover being Billy D. Williams was outstanding. I appreciated that more than like needing him to be like anything. I thought the story was really good. I thought the action was really good. I thought the whole Beckett's crew was a good part to it. I thought that it had a lot of good aspects in it. The only thing was the runtime. It was pretty long for a movie that I wanted to sit there and just, like we said, like, the story, I think. So instead of like all like the Kessel Run and like the Millennium Falcon and meeting Donald Glover and like knowing what his favor that he got him out of and that he mentions in the movies, but I think the movie should. This is gonna hurt some people too, but like I don't think the movie should have introduced like him meeting Chewie in it. And I thought that was just like an extra thing. Darth Maul's introduction at the end was great. I had known about it. Not that it was going to happen in the movie. I had known about, obviously, with Clone Wars, that he was still alive in that.
Yeah.
So it was just shocking that like Emilia Clarke's character turned, and it was about that, and I was just like super pumped for like what it was going to be, and I thought
I'd
the
love for that
casting,
to pay off at any point.
Yeah, I
Ever.
was gonna say, have we seen anything with her at all?
right. I need that to happen. So
Now
like,
her
I
first
thought the
reappearance
casting
in
was
canon
great.
was like last month.
Thought Harrelson was great. I thought her character was great. I thought like it was just a solid movie all around. It's easy to watch. It's just long. That's my biggest concern with it is the length of the film.
Yeah.
Or Sean, you're 8.
My number 8 is I won't go on it too much because I think we already did. Number 8 is a good movie in my opinion. Just not a great movie. Very poor script, repetitive script, and that is Episode 7, Force Awakens. Number 8.
Wow.
I like the movie. I will watch it repeatedly. I think it's got a great rewatchability to it. I think Han's really good in this movie. I think the relationship between Ben and Han in this is good. But I think it fails in a lot of other aspects. But it's cool, meeting Rey for the first time and everything like that, and just wondering the kind of promise that this character could lead to. Because it's got to be great, right? But I have to say, based on the other 2 sequel movies, this one has lowered in how much you can appreciate it, because before it was like, oh my, like I'm talking like 2016, 2017 type of thing, like oh my god, I watched Force Awakens like 2 times this week, like holy crap, like this is such a good movie, I can't wait to see what happens next. And then it's like, now it's just like, why would I go and watch this when I know that what happens next isn't very interesting?
I think I don't mean to like interject, because like I know we don't want to do that, but like I think the same exact thing. I think the payoffs for number 7 just ruined what 7 was about.
Yeah,
I think it had a lot of promise, but like I said, the Kylo Ren reveal, the whole Snoke building up, the whole like introducing characters that didn't have payoffs was just sucked.
Yeah. For sure.
Still a fine movie.
TJ.
My number 8.
Yep.
The Phantom Menace.
People are probably surprised we didn't name it earlier.
Not bad. I don't even know the last time. Obviously the best thing, Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Fantastic fight. Jar Jar sucks. Looks terrible. Trying to remember. Did you guys like the whole Metachlorian thing? Did you like that or no?
I was gonna get to that when I get to it, but yeah, I do like the midichlorian, and I know people who hate it, like viciously hate it. But
I'm kind of 50-50 on. Oh, we get Watto, of course. I like Watto. He's funny.
Yeah. Boss Nass.
Yeah, it was kind of cool just to kind of see kind of where it started, I guess. Almost.
It's true.
I don't know.
It's true.
Not like poorly acted or anything, just like I don't know. It's not one I if I think like I want to rewatch, if I'm thinking like, oh, I want to watch Star Wars, Phantom Menace is definitely like very towards the bottom of the list. Like if I want to watch Phantom Menace, I'm just rewatching the Darth Maul fight. That's
really.
Yeah.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I'm not even spoiling where it is on my list. Yeah, I'm just saying no matter what, I just think if I want to rewatch Star Wars, Phantom Menace is almost the first one that I think of. And not just because
if I'm watching all the movies.
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
I'm saying I just think it's the most like get up and go and we're on the adventure. You know what I mean? Like out of all of them, like if I want to like feel like I'm in the Star Wars universe, it's got that like it's just like bang, like you're just like you're in this place that like you're it gives you that feel of like Star Wars is nothing like we have here. You know what I mean? It's no, I know that's like the simplest thing to say in the universe, but like it's like so out there, and you're just like, man, I just want to live in this world. And I think Phantom Menace is a great way to get into that. But yeah,
Gotcha.
Brandon,
number 7, The Last Jedi, which wraps up my sequels. But yeah, so The Last Jedi,
Ooh.
is higher because of the opposite of what Sean said. I believe that Luke's character makes the movie great. I believe that it it really does show that he is a Skywalker, and I thought they didn't do that. And after watching this, it really felt like they didn't do a good enough job connecting him to Anakin. Like this feels like Anakin's son. Like when I go back and watch it, I think of like he had that mental breakdown that Anakin would have, and it kind of shows his personality like that. Like you were the son of Darth Vader. You have that whininess, hating Christians in you, DNA wise. Like there is something in you that has like, I mean, Leia is the one that's always like the go forward, the good one, and it was like too good for Luke and Leia to both be like that if you have a father like Darth Vader. And the fact that he like turned and then had that whole like issue with dealing with Ben and a close family member and knowing what he went through with Anakin and the death in number 6 really did connect it to me. I didn't like the middle of the movie with the Leia flying outside. I thought that like it was just like so
Leia Poppins, as they call her.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, he tries to train Leia first, and there's obviously a rift there. She's older, she whatever. But like it just seems like they just rush in and go, okay, well she has some kind of power and she just knows how to use it. Mm-hmm. So that's the issue I have. Luke's sacrifice at the end, that ending scene, the first time you watch it is great, and it just it does something for me that like we said it could wrap up there, because like his sacrifice with the music playing the way it does and like him just vanishing, it's just like one of those like last sacrifices to help save the rebellion. And it's like talking about hope, it's talking about the last Jedi is not Luke, it is now being reborn and all of them and all this other stuff. And so I thought it just did Luke's character. I'm one that supports it, so that's why I really liked episode 8. I like the whole conflict that he battles himself and has a little bit of Skywalker in him rather than just being always so pure, which then gets flipped back to being pure again when we look at him in the ending of the Mando. So we'll see what they do with that.
Sean.
My number 7 is I've always said when I think about watching Star Wars, it's one of the first ones that comes to my mind. That is number 7 is Phantom Menace, episode 1. What we just talked about. For everything that I just said, I just think it's the most like, to me, like Phantom Menace. Yes, obviously there's an issue with it. There's issues with it. I do disagree with one thing, TJ. I think there is some poor acting in this, not even just from Jake Lloyd, but from some people who go on to do great work in this franchise. Namely, Ewan McGregor, I think it's not his best work, but he's still Obi-Wan Kenobi in this. I mean, and that's great. But that being said, this to me, when I think of like Star Wars, this is the most like, the word that just literally like screams at me is like adventure. It's just like, it's like, because you're going through the eyes of Anakin, you're like, you start out on, this desert planet and stuff. And it's very similar to episode 4, but I think episode 4 has a more hint of sadness to it and stuff, just because you're like, oh my God, this whole galaxy's oppressed and all this stuff. This is like, this galaxy, I mean, under the surface, we know that things are brewing now, obviously, like, afterwards, but like from Anakin's perspective and from the Jedi's perspective at that point, like you're like, this universe is like flourishing. You're like this kid who's like being whisked off to this like huge city planet, like you're doing all this stuff, and now you're like going in like this ship and stuff, and the pod race scene, like it's Skywalker, like all that, all that stuff. It's so quotable. Like I love this movie so much. But that being said, obviously it does have its problems, but, one of them not being obviously, Darth Maul. I mean, what can you say? It's just incredible. But yeah, number 7, Phantom Menace.
My number 7 is online with Brandon's number 7. The Last Jedi. I like what The Last Jedi did. Maybe in its own movie, maybe. I just liked that it was kind of different. Did my favorite thing that any Star Wars movie has ever done is it gave the Imperial Guard something to do. I've always wanted to see them fight or something, and it finally did it. Even if they didn't look as cool as I think they did in Episode 6. Yeah, 6, where, you know, they're like taller, they have like taller headgear. And they're just I like those ones. These ones were again, Canto Bite, I can get without that. I like the addition of Kelly Marie Tran, her character. And then they kind of just got rid of her in episode 9, which I kind of thought was kind of sucked. And again, I just liked how they what?
I said
too much fanfare. Yeah. But I liked like what they did kind of just with Kylo and Rey's relationship, and I liked that they were kind of moving away from the whole family line thing. It's you're nobody. Like you don't have to be part of a family to be, you know, this person universe. You could be nobody and still be something. I like that. And they kind of, you know, shit all over that in Rise of Skywalker, but and the Leia thing, I didn't really like the whole where she's floating back, and I also did not like Laura Dern's character.
Yep.
I still didn't understand why I got like one of the coolest shots though. Very cool shot of all of the sequel trilogy. I don't know, all Star Wars. The silence of when she takes the ship and goes through the other ship and it's like silent and it's just this explosion. But I was always like, why didn't she just tell him what she's doing? I feel like we could work this out somewhere where he'd be okay and, you know, something like that. Like, I never understood that dynamic between Poe and Laura Dern's character. I never really got that. But yeah, I as much as it's kind of like the ugly child in the sequel trilogy, I like that it was different. I like that it did something different.
Agreed. With a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6 is episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
That's my number 6.
Yeah, so
it really?
It wraps up It wraps up the originals. Jabba the Hutt's palace takes a while, and then it's right to Endor. It is like cut in half, and then the ending of the movie is great. I wish that it wasn't repeated in 9, obviously. Like the whole Anakin coming back and Luke trying to win over his father the whole time, and then the whole understandably, and I'm going to bring this up in another movie, watching this as a kid, it is really, really enjoyable, which I think I also took in consideration because, like, you have to have multiple audiences, and I thought this did a very good job of, like, connecting to kids. It was a very feel-good movie. It had the Ewoks, which added humor for kids. Don't tell me that it's terrible and it was just try to, like, oh, it was only to sell, like, stuffed animals or whatever and toys, because, like, even if it was like that, it does appeal to the kids. So, like, it's fine. But it's just, like, it was cut in 2 halves. It wraps up the series nicely. It's just that. Nothing to complain about. Just is consistent right in there in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's dead center on both of our lists. I think it's a very good Star Wars movie. I just think it's not the best Star Wars movie.
Right.
That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
For me, number 6 is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Really enjoy Rogue One. Think it's definitely better than Solo. I like that we kind of get introduced to this new cast of characters. We have obviously Ben Mendelsohn. We have I can't remember his name.
Erso.
Jyn Erso, but we have Mads Mikkelsen, Forrest Whitaker, you know, Donnie Yen, right? Donnie Yen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're all great in this movie. And I always forget her name. The lead.
Felicity
lead of
Jones.
Rogue One. Yeah, Felicity Jones. Yeah. She's great, and I liked how it ended. I liked that they all like knew what was happening, and they knew they can get vaporized. And of course, a fantastic Darth Vader scene, who's easily in the movie, 5 minutes, maybe less.
Yeah.
But how they kind of roll him out, like Ben Mendelsohn is going there to see him, and I remember when the trailer came out, we were kind of like, oh, who's in the tank? Who's in the tank? And it was obviously Darth Vader, but yeah, I think it's a very fun Star Wars movie, and it's nice to have a little bit more background knowledge. And I can't say I knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say I knew they were all going to get, unless have they ever mentioned that before in any of the other movies?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I like. That's what I liked. I just think it's better than, like, if you were going to compare it to Solo, because they're both the spin-off movies almost. I just think it does a better job of just being more interesting, honestly, as a story.
Yeah. All right, Brandon. What's your number 5?
All right, number 5. TJ, man. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Oh.
It is a summer blockbuster, which is what it was intended to be. It was fast. It was great. It involved great characters. Jango Fett, Christopher Lee as the main antagonist was outstanding as Count Dooku. It really gave something to the. I mean, like, you have Darth Maul, who obviously is Darth Maul in the series, but Christopher Lee's Count Dooku was just like, he was very strong-minded. Like, he actually had plots. He had tried to infiltrate things. He had, like, converted over to the dark side. He had tried to set up a whole Geonosis army to then fill out his plans with the Emperor and everything like that. And he just Jango Fett. The reason I enjoyed this so much as a kid, obviously, because none of the main characters, the good guys, die. So it was very easy to keep watching as kids. And so, like, as I kept watching it, I kept really enjoying it. Obviously, the love scene didn't interest a lot of people, but you have to have it because you have to have the backstory of Anakin. And then the fight at the end, Yoda fighting, Anakin fighting with 2 lightsabers, the whole introduction of the clones. And then I know Ewan McGregor has the short hair in the third one, but, like, his long hair in the second one is just, like, top-notch Ewan McGregor. I thought that he was that, like, symbolizes, like, what Obi-Wan Kenobi is. He's like, and I think it deals with the dynamic of Obi-Wan and Anakin that I'm going to get into with my next movie, but, like, it's not a father-son relationship style that you expect from master and apprentice. It's a lot of, like, a brotherhood. And so it sets that tone where he, like, tries to teach Anakin, yet at the same time he feels as though it's like he grew up with him, so, like, it's he's not much older. He had been an apprentice and he was just, like, appointed a master because of, like, what happened with Qui-Gon and everything. But yeah, it's just there's a lot more. Yeah, well, I think, like, that's, like, a huge thing. Like, it's definitely a brotherhood. And Anakin doesn't have a father throughout any of the movies, and his father figure dies in the first one because, like, the connection he shares with Qui-Gon when he's, like, talking about seeing all the planets in the galaxy, being the first one to see them all. Like, that whole scene is really powerful to me. But yeah, that's why 2 is just a great summer blockbuster. Like, it's just that.
I went off on not off on, but I went off about that to Chris the other day at work about the whole, like, Qui-Gon is like the whole duel, like, everything that, like, Filoni talked about in the Mandalorian behind the scenes thing, like, the whole like what Duel of the Fates actually means, that it's like, it's this battle is literally like the fight for Anakin's soul. Like, it's literally Anakin's fate. It's gonna go one way or another, and this fight is what's gonna figure it out. And exactly what you said, like, the whole, like, you know, Anakin doesn't need a brother. He needed a father figure that was gonna take care of him and fill in for his mother. And that's one of those things that, you know, episode 2, if Qui-Gon's his master, they're going to Tatooine the first time Anakin says he's having a nightmare about his mother, or the first time he says that it feels like it's more than just a dream type of thing. Whereas, yeah, I mean, he'd been telling that to Obi-Wan for months, even before the movie even starts. Like, he's been having those dreams. And it's just, you know, like, oh, you got to be mindful, like, of the present, like, that kind of thing. Like, don't give too much. And it's like, if you had done that, maybe he wouldn't have had such a difficult time dealing with loss, and he wouldn't have gone crazy about Padme. I digress. All right. My number 5 is Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Yep. It's a good one. All right. TJ, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Maybe the scariest Star Wars movie to me.
Ooh,
we got a lot of Palpatine. Palpatine, love his character, scared shit out of me.
Right? Yeah.
Kermit, man, he's the man.
My favorite Ewan Obi-Wan performance. From the quips to the fighting Grievous to the emotional, basically between Anakin when Anakin's basically getting burnt alive. I just think that Ewan is the best as that character in this movie. And obviously just the fall of Anakin, I think is fantastic. From the beginning when he cuts off Dooku's head to, you know,
The change.
him and Padme's thing and that whole thing. I don't know. I really like Episode 3 is one of those where I think if I was going to watch a prequel, Episode 3 is the one I would watch. I mean, that's
Very
pretty
nice.
obvious on my list, but
Yeah. It's very good.
All right. Number 4
Here we go.
is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And the reason being, and maybe it's because I'm a history guy, but the whole politics, the whole corruption is just super intriguing to me as an adult. As a kid, it was a fantastic movie. First Lego set was Qui-Gon and Darth Maul on Tatooine. Qui-Gon was my favorite character. Didn't know he died when I first got that playset. Watched the movie like right after I got it. Found out he died. Really hated the movie because I hated that my favorite character died. As I grew older, I started to watch it more. Absolutely loved it. And I want to touch on this with Ian McDiarmid for Episode 2 as well. The rise in the corruption of his character is what really him and Obi-Wan just set the tone for the prequels and why I enjoy them so much. Like the fact that he can manipulate everyone that you seem to be good. Like even Yoda has his doubts about what they're doing and everything. But like he's able to then trick everyone and then get what he wants and fulfills everything. And it gets to the point where it's just like I can only respect it. Jar Jar Binks, funny as hell as a kid. I don't really mind him as much now. Like it's just
he's
like whatever. Like as a 7-year-old kid when that movie came out. As a 7-year-old kid when that movie came out, when he completely shocks himself on Anakin's pod racer, like that was hilarious to me.
Funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I thought that as like a kid, but like yeah, it was just like funny like that. It was kooky. I love the midichlorian thing. My one friend absolutely hates it. He goes, well, it wasn't even mentioned in the first 3 movies, so it doesn't exist. It's like, well, George Lucas makes the universe. Like if George Lucas makes the universe, he can make whatever he wants in it. So like it's the midichlorians I thought gave a good reason as to why only some people can be Jedi, as to why some people are stronger with the Force than others, why Yoda is more powerful than others, not just because he studies more, but there is an actual biological reason for it. But yeah, and then Duel of the Fates, best. I have the soundtrack of that whole movie on my Apple iTunes account. Like I constantly play that song in my car. It's
when
great.
did you buy the soundtrack for the first time? What year?
2015 maybe.
Should have bought it. Like, you bought it like 16 years earlier, man. You would have known that Qui-Gon died. So I'm just saying, you could have saved yourself a little trouble.
So they have like 3 songs. Like Qui-Gon's Noble End has the Duel of the Fates part in it and everything. It only is rivaled by Battle of the Heroes from Episode 3. Like that just takes me into a different like mindset when that song hits. So
I gotta
they're
say,
both up there though. It's like 1A, 1B. I can interchange them, but like it's fantastic.
one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars music of anything is from my number 3. Nope. Yeah. Right. That was
Could
your
be
3,
number
right?
4. That was
Oh,
four.
my number 4?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. Is from... Oh, no, never mind. So my number 4 is Rogue One. I thought I was on my 3 for some reason. Sorry. My number 3 is Rogue One. Excellent movie. Where the difference between this and Solo, I think this was a story that was ripe to be told because it was just a story we had heard before, but we had no details on it at all. We knew that Han did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, and that's what we got. You know what I mean? This was like, okay, how did the Death Star plans get stolen? We have absolutely no information on that at all. We just know that somehow Bail Organa got them, with Leia, and that's it. We're going from there.
And actually, can I just interject real quick? Like you talking more about that, like makes you think like I'm in the middle of like listening to Treason, and it's like Ben Mendelsohn's character, Thrawn Treason, I think is the third one.
Yep.
And they're like talking about like Thrawn has his own project, the TIE Defender.
Yep.
And then Ben Mendelsohn's character has the Death Star, and there's people that are like Death Star, stupid idea, and it's like just like how it's going, and it's like I don't know, it's just weird to see the things that are kind of
Thrawn and Vader.
Yeah,
both are like literally what the fuck is the point of a giant fucking circle that you like
Death Beam.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, great movie.
Okay.
Great movie.
So
and really ballsy to just fucking murder everybody at the end.
Yeah.
Great. And also best Vader action scene that has been on screen.
Oh yeah.
Like hands down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot about that. I literally forgot about that scene. Oh my god, that scene is terrifying. My number 4.
The Vader scene. Okay, go on.
Well, no, I just meant when he walks out and like starts choking him and shit like that. Number 4 is Force Awakens. I know it's kind of a rehash in a way. We'd basically just have another death planet. But thinking about like watching it, it was like, wow, this is like we're back. Like we got Star Wars back, we got Han back, we got Leia back. Obviously, Luke was at the very, very, very end of the movie.
What movie?
But Force Awakens.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. Sorry, I dropped my water bottle.
And to see Kylo, I really enjoyed, and I really wish they would have just stuck with Finn being like or both of them. Like I wish that we would have gotten something. Obviously, in hindsight, a lot of stuff they set up does not really get it gets moved around. Because I know, everybody thought this when Finn picked it up. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is the Force user." The trilogy. And I don't know. I kind of wish almost that they would have just done both of them. Not take anything from Rey or Daisy Ridley's character, but elevate John Boyega to do something more than in Episode 9. He literally just screams Rey the entire time. That's his only. That's all he does.
Well, I mean, in defense, he was worried about it.
Yeah, right. But I think Force Awakens is so high for me just because it's like, you're back in that world for the first time in a long time.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I gotta rewatch all of these, and my list is probably gonna drastically change because the last Star Wars movie I watched was Rise of Skywalker, and that was so.
I had to show Chrissy them again, so we had to watch them. So going back, I know for Phantom Menace too, with like, don't hate me because of how it's like shot or whatever. It's an enjoyable movie. I can watch it. Anyways, number 3, I don't want to go into it long. Rogue One. It's a great story. It's just
nice.
Really easy to watch. I can rewatch it over and over and over again. Darth Vader's end scene is top notch. action scene in the whole series. So really, really good. Easy story to follow. Great story to follow. Fits right in. Ties in beautifully with the start of New Hope. I think that was fan service that actually worked. With Leia saying like, I mean, it just like goes right into episode 4. So like, just great. Yeah, works at the end with everyone dying. Had good comedy with
and may I add, beautiful movie.
Yeah,
like shot
really well shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Everything was really well done. But yeah,
great performance.
Adds new characters. Yeah, adds new characters that really worked.
Saw Gerrera.
You didn't have to. Yep.
Big
you didn't
staple
have to
of the Star Wars universe.
Do anything that fit with canon. You can do your own thing as long as you just wrapped it up and showed how they got the Death Star plans and that why, like how Vader found out about Leia in possession of them and whatever. But yeah, not much else. We already touched on.
So what's your number 3?
Everything. That was Rogue One.
Rogue One. Well, I thought you were like retouching on it. Sorry.
No. That was my number 3.
Yeah. So what I was saying earlier, but I had my numbers wrong. One of my favorite pieces of Star Wars music in the entire franchise is the song by a man named John Williams, and that is "Across the Stars," the story of 2 star-crossed lovers named Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. Because my number 3 is Episode 2. I said Episode 2, Chamber of Secrets. Episode 2. What the fuck is this movie called? Attack of the Clones. Oh my god, I literally completely. Okay, yeah. My number 3 is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I love this movie so much. If Last Jedi has fallen over the years in my estimation, this has just increased between the amount that it is helped out, and I will say the movie on its own does have pretty weak points, obviously, but I think the way that the rest of the universe and other movies and other TV shows and in both the Bad Batch, Clone Wars, and Rebels have helped out this movie, and also comics and other supplementary material and stuff, that obviously, that somebody might not feel the same way that hasn't read or watched those things, but still, it really just, I love the story, and I just love, I love the music. I love watching this movie. I think the stuff, I genuinely think that there is a gesture of good faith, outreach to Obi-Wan from Dooku to be like, you know what? If you say, I believe that if Obi-Wan had said yes in that moment, where Dooku's like, me and Qui-Gon, we were like hombres, bro. We were brothers. Like, join me and we can like do this thing right and fix the galaxy. Like, because there's so much wrong, and I think if Obi-Wan just wasn't so stubborn and kind of bullheaded like he is, I think if he had accepted the offer right then, I think in that moment, Dooku had fallen so little at that point, if you want to put it that way, that I think that if the two of them had worked together, I think that good things actually would have happened. And who knows, with like Clone Wars and stuff too, if Obi-Wan had left the Order, maybe then he could bring Mandalore in on the Separatist side and kind of talk some sense into the Republic on that end of things, and kind of stop the war in a diplomatic sense, and kind of, because there's several ways that the war could have been stopped and would have just ruined Palpatine's plans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if anything like that had happened,
has there been is that been in the book at all or no?
What?
Him and Qui-Gon?
Who?
Like
Qui-Gon?
Dooku and Qui-Gon?
Well, like flashbacks in Dooku Jedi Lost and in Master and Apprentice.
Oh, okay. I was curious. Yeah. I don't remember it in the Jedi Lost one. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Am I up?
Yep.
Number 3, Return of the Jedi. Love Ewoks. So cute. Cute and cuddly. Love them. I love how just those first 3 ends. I love the fight between Vader and Luke. I love them meeting kind of that I don't know what you want to call it, like the little vestibule thing that they have like a quick conversation in before he brings Death Star.
The little waiting area, the lobby.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the lobby.
I like the Jabba stuff. I agree. Like with Brandon, it is kind of long thinking about it, but I really like the outside kind of over the Rancor pit, that kind of battle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like Boba when he is not a kid, specifically in Clone Wars. Brandon, have you ever watched Clone Wars?
I've watched. So I've started watching it. I've watched through a lot of the.
You'll get to a point. This isn't a spoiler. When you get to see Boba as a kid, he's a fucking whiny asshole, and you'll be like, "Wow, I hate this character." But when he has his armor on, he's pretty cool. And in Mando is cool too. Like Boba, I like all that thing that they set up, and yeah, I just kind of like how it ended. Not like the CGI or because he went back and did CGI stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe not that stuff. Although I do kind of like the Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I see how you wouldn't, but I like it.
It's just from a storytelling standpoint. It's like it just doesn't really make sense with Sebastian Shaw. It's like
Shaw.
You're right. Sebastian Shaw. It like it just doesn't really make sense because it's like that guy.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what he looks like,
Whatever,
so put him in the movie.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. But yeah, I really like Return of the Jedi. And another one that I don't know why it is like, if I'm thinking of movies that I'm rewatching, like Star Wars movies, Return of the Jedi is on that list. Like it, for some reason, I don't know why. It just is. Two of the movies that have the most Palpatine.
Yeah,
and he scares me the most, but I like watching them.
One of the best characters, probably the best character. I think the whole thing, except for 9, it ruined him. All right, on to number 2.
Yep.
Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Great movie, Star Wars classic ending. I mean, whatever. Training with Yoda, did all that. Cloud City, really good. There's nothing more you can really say about it aside from what everyone else has said from other reviews of it and why everyone held it in such high regard. It's broken up very well. You have Hoth, you have the great Vader coming down and like the battle of Hoth and everything, and then goes into Dagobah, goes into Cloud City, wraps up nicely, everything. Just a really good Star Wars movie, and it feels like Star Wars.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
Sean, real quick. Did you say episode 3 yet?
No.
Did you say episode 4 yet?
No.
Did you say episode 5 yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where was that again?
He said it as like number 5. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I remember. He just goes, "It's a good movie," and then I went.
Oh, right. You were just like, yeah.
So my number 2, right?
Yep. So we know one of them.
My number 2 is Star Wars. It's a Star Wars movie. It is directed by George Lucas.
Wow.
Yep, that's right. And it does feature Darth Vader, and that is Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. It's a very good movie. It's very good.
Wow.
It's classic. You got the Death Star in there. You got the Darth Vader there. You got the old guy with the cheekbones. He's pretty good. Pretty good movie. Pretty good.
My number
Solo,
2.
running around, going. Ah!
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
My number 2
like
is
7 million people at the end, so that's cool.
They do. Can you do your best Han Wahoo? When
Wahoo! Now let's blow this thing and get out of here. All right. Yeah, like that, you know.
My number 4 is
Shot kid, 1 in a million.
My number 2. You're making me cough.
He's gone.
I need to hear a Travis Wahoo.
Wahoo.
Wow.
My number 2 is episode 4, A New Hope.
That's a good choice.
Echo everything Sean said. Love me some Peter Cushing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, cheekbones. Yep. Love me some Darth Vader. Um,
Evacuate in a moment of triumph.
Love me some Al Guinness,
Oh yeah,
course.
he was in that too.
where he does the. I can't do
Yeah.
the noise. Can anybody do the noise?
That? Yeah.
Yeah.
Come here, little friend.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was good. Yeah, and I love me some 3PO and R2D2.
Oh man, what a guy. 3PO is such an
Yeah.
asshole. Oh my god.
Alrighty.
Number 1.
Wait, so
Number
do we all,
one,
should we all just say it at the same time? I mean, it's the
Well, I
same
mean,
for all of us.
No,
You two have the same one, don't you?
TJ has episode 5. We have
Yeah.
episode 3.
Wait, when did you talk about episode 3?
Episode 3.
He
Number
said he
5.
was talking about it scares the crap out of him with Palpatine. Guys,
all the way back there?
you weren't paying attention?
Yeah, number 5.
Yeah, you guys
All
aren't
right,
even
man.
paying attention to each other's 5.
Who
Well, then,
Empire
yeah.
Strikes
You're
Back at
listening.
number 5? What the fuck are you
Episode
talking
1,
about?
this
fucking guy.
Oh my god. Number 1 is
Episode 3.
episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The
Battle of the
best-
Heroes best.
Yeah. It's just
You
amazing.
can't get it. The only part I hated as a kid is the same reason. Mace Windu dies. I really like Mace Windu. Other than that, fantastic movie. Has everything.
Hello,
that I wanted in a Star Wars
motherfucker.
movie.
So,
Yeah.
I love one of the best behind the scenes clips from any movie ever is the whole he goes up to George Lucas and he goes I was just talking to him about how do
purple
you
lightsaber.
your light your lightsaber color, and he goes, well, good guys have green or blue, and bad guys have red. Sam Jackson just goes, can't get a purple lightsaber. And then the clip just ends. Like, it's just the way it said.
I think that's
my
actually like
God.
crazy
funny.
because like people have talked about his character and like how he's like a mix. I think like Qui-Gon could have been like that too.
Yeah.
It's like he was very in the middle, but whatever.
You guys telling me your favorite scene of the movie isn't all the Jedi dying? That montage?
Order 66?
Skywalker, what are we going
Yeah.
to do?
R.I.P.
Whatever,
Shakti.
man. If I get the first hour and then the last hour, it's
Mhm.
all good. Like it's great. I mean,
Mm.
it
What's the
pulls at
middle?
everything that you want.
What's the middle that you're leaving out?
Like I said, I just don't like the whole Mace Windu dying.
Oh, right. I see what you mean.
And it's
It was just
treason.
as a kid, yeah. Like it was just hard for me to like go watch it again because I just like I hated. Like, I always like turn away at that scenes. Yeah. Unlimited power.
The Sith will rule the galaxy.
Yeah, he's like sitting there. He's like, "Roar, now rise, Vader," and he's like trying really hard to talk. Yeah.
You guys,
The way
do you guys know the well, actually, okay, sorry. Oh, real quick. Oh, that's I love that scene. I love that scene.
Oh my god! I just remembered that was in Bad Batch like 3 months ago when that show
It
started.
was. Yeah. Speaking of episode 3, are you a fan of the Yoda Sidious fight or no?
100%.
Oh yeah!
Okay.
Oh my god! That's
Okay.
one of the, I
Are you
think that's one of the
kidding?
best non
Go into the
lightsaber
secret room.
fights in there.
When
yeah.
they're like going up and like spoiling, that is one of the best.
When he's doing
cinematic,
the-
like,
when he's doing the-
moments.
like
Yeah,
throwing
like-
them at him. Oh my god! That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's like it's flipping back and forth. It has the song playing and everything. It's
Or
Yeah.
when he lightnings him and then he sends it back and he goes,
Oh
"Ah!"
yeah.
yeah,
He goes. "Ah!"
yeah.
Oh,
It was just
man.
like I don't know, like that is top Star Wars. Like I can watch
Not
it.
Oh
if
my
anything
God.
to say about it. I have.
Yep.
My number 1 obviously is Empire
What a
Strikes
movie.
Back. Fantastic movie. I wish I wish I was alive. That would have been an experience.
Yeah.
Greatest, one of the greatest, if not the greatest reveal in all cinematic history. Hoth, Dagobah, Cloud City, everything's fantastic about that movie.
You sound
Acting,
like
shot, everything,
Luke.
and obviously the Vader Luke fight. very, very fantastic.
I think
now,
that's
question
the better of their two fights.
Correct.
before we end. Do you guys know? Maybe Sean might know. I don't know if Brand knows. Do you know the best sound effect of all of Star Wars?
R2D2.
R2D2. Yep.
Yep.
Oh wow, really?
We're on the same page for some.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have said most satisfying.
Oh, the
Team's
seismic
laugh.
charges.
Seismic charges.
Seismic charges, yeah, 100%. Out of the Slave One, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By far. The
Which-
second movie is that
Mando
chase
got
scene.
like
Mando
like
got a kind of.
90% there.
Yeah.
It was, but also it's gonna sound different too because I realized I have to you gotta give Mando some credit because that was in atmosphere, so it might
Mhm.
sound a little different.
I remember
Like-
when we were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, it was so close, but it was
Mhm.
not."
Yep.
Oh, I will say too, we have Michelle put in her top 3 in the chat. So number 3 is The Force Awakens. Oh, she got one from each. Number 3, Force Awakens. Number 2, Empire Strikes Back, and number 1, Revenge of the Sith. Look at
Wow.
that.
I agree with 2 of those.
Big comeback
Good job.
story. Big comeback
Okay.
story on the prequel front. You know.
Yeah.
Big change.
Yeah.
It's,
Do you guys think that there's going to be that big of a change around in the estimation of the sequel trilogy in 20
No,
years?
because
time?
I think
No.
the sequels did that
There's
to
not
the
a
prequels.
congruent story.
I think that the prequels were hated out because of the whole these weren't like the originals, they changed too much, and then people realized how much they could like go off the deep end of Star Wars in the sequels to then realize like, oh, well,
yeah.
the prequels did do
Yeah.
at least justice to a lot of the Star Wars characters, unlike what the sequels
Say what you
did,
will,
so,
at
like,
least Jar Jar Binks had a beginning, middle, and end in all 3 movies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Snoke was,
I wish
the
he had a
big
better
problem,
ending
like-
in 3.
huh?
I said I wish he had more of an influence in 3. But like
True,
he
yeah.
makes the biggest decision in the prequels of like appointing Chancellor
He
Palpatine
gives him the emergency powers
does,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
launches the whole thing.
right to make the
Like
clone
he
army
said-
to do everything.
You know, Jar Jar's kind of the key to all this. If Jar Jar doesn't work,
Right.
the picture doesn't work.
Actually, the secret Sith Lord of it all.
See,
Yeah.
Palpatine, that was his whole plan along. It
may
wasn't to
have,
get
I
wasn't to
may
get
I
Anakin.
may
It
have
was to get
gone too
Jar
far
Jar
in a
Binks
couple
to
of places.
Jar Jar Binks to help him out,
Yep.
not Anakin.
You will bring me a Coke Zero. All right, that will do it for this installment, episode 51 of Planet Film Live. Let us know what you think of the new look. What is your top 10, top 5, top 3, whatever you want to do of your Star Wars movies. Let us know, what do you guys think? Do you think that Disney is going to back down in the whole Scarlett Johansson lawsuit situation? Do you think that they're going to double down? What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to be the next Doctor in Doctor Who? Let us know. Are you looking forward to Hawkeye? Are you looking forward to What If? Also, you know, I'm sure he's reading the chat right now. Give Bob Odenkirk, you know, some love in the chat in the comments down below. I know he's watching. So yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. That'll do it for me. I have been one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I've been your other host, TJ Cornwell, or one of your other hosts. Sorry, TJ Cornwell.
I've been the guest appearance, Brandon Friedman.
Boom, boom. We will catch you guys in the next one.